snow, let it snow, let it snow. C3 Legion, welcome back to another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, the show for Panthers fans by Panthers fans. If you would like to join and be a part of the discussion that we're going to have here today, man, click that link pinned to the top of the Facebook chat, pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. Join via Streamyard. This is our first Friday Free for All postseason, man. The Carolina Panthers NFL season has come to an end. It obviously didn't go the way that we wanted to, but we showed signs of life. And Bryce finally showed some of those glimpses of being the franchise quarterback that we're really hoping that he can be. I appreciate you all. As always, you know it wouldn't be a Friday Free for All without my partners. First up today, we got the brand ambassador back in the building, my brother Diesel Scales. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Cody, man. I tell you what, the Evero news has got some people happy. It's got some people mad. It's got many people confused. I'm one of them, and some people even glad. So who knows what all these different fans of the Carolina Panthers think about this Evero retention of him and him staying with this team. But let me give you guys a shout out. That was a great after show that we had on Sunday. You talk about being pumped up, buddy. Another overtime win to beat the Falcons to end the season. 5 touchdowns from Bryce Young, 100 yards total, more than 100 yards from Miles Sanders. So much to talk about in the after show. Great job by C3 there. Great show Tuesday as well. Really enjoyed that one. I love the conversations. Me and Pickle were in the chat. We were like, will y'all please shut up about these wide receivers? We want to talk about Evero. So tonight we finally get to talk about Evero, and I get to ride this wave that I've been feeling all week long. Hey, my Panthers team rolling on 5 dubs. Count them up. That's all the way around. And one on the back for show. Let's roll, Cody.
Let's roll, man. That's why we call that man the brand ambassador. That's why we love him. Look, man, you know it would never be a Friday Free for All without our man, Panther Pickle, telling folks who need to hear it to shut the hell up. Panther Pickle, happy Friday. How are you, brother?
I'm all right. I slipped and slide all the way home, and it wasn't driving down the road. Did I realize I had to go to the grocery store a little bit? Then I run on and slipping and sliding all the way down the road, and I realized that I forgot actually that my truck wasn't 4-wheel drive. It's
Oh, no.
2-wheel drive, and there's nothing in the back of it. So I'm a slipping and a sliding and a sliding and a slipping, and I saw a pole, and I went, "Oh my God!" And I barely missed it, but I made it home. And
No.
But the best thing about it is I'm off this weekend.
Hey,
And the Falcons lost like they do because they're losers.
how about this, man? By the grace of God, you were meant to be on this free for all this afternoon. Healthy and safe, Panther Pickle. That's what it is. Next up, we got my man. He's a legend, man. He's on the free for all whenever he has the chance to be on it. My man, 910 Kyle. What's up, Kyle? How you doing, brother?
Brother, how we doing? How we doing, Cody? Just a great day, great Friday. Like I always say, I can't think of a better place I'd rather spend a Friday than right here on the show with y'all boys. So ready to chop it up. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. And listen, hailing all the way from Newcastle, England, my brother, we love him all the way from across the pond. It's my man, Alex, Brit Panther, back on the free for all. What's up, brother?
What's going on, boys? It's happy New Year, happy Christmas. I hope you all had a lovely time with your families and all that. Now, already looking forward to the new season. I'm not going to lie. Our season is over, and I don't know if anything could have gone better for us in that last week, but to have a win like that in such amazing circumstances to give us so much hope going into the new year, into the new season. But I already can't wait, and these 8 months can't pass quick enough as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, sir. And against a division rival, too. Like, what a better team for it to happen against to show us.
I'd be interested to see if we hear from Red Swan tonight.
All right, pop up, Red. Hey, he's like the Sandman. You say his name one too many times, so pop up out of nowhere, bro. Hey, shout out to Illinois. Shout out to Eleanor Jones, recovering from COVID. Sorry to hear that, brother. Get well soon, man. Last but not least, we have Nick from Tri-State back on the Friday free-for-all. Nick, what's up, brother?
What's good, fellas? How y'all doing? Hope y'all all had a great, productive week.
Yes, sir, man. Had a fantastic week. How about yourself?
You know, just worked and was a dad. That's about it. About it, just like every week. You know. Now I'm here chilling with y'all. Let's get it.
Let's go. Listen, man. Like we said, if you would like to join, I have pinned the Streamyard link to the top of the YouTube and the Facebook chat. Be a part of the conversation. We appreciate you spending your Friday evenings with the C3 Panthers podcast. Let's jump into it, boys. Look, these Pickle, they were upset in the chat last Tuesday. They said enough of the wide receiver talk. Let's talk defense. So, damn it, boys, that's what we're going to do. The news that not a lot of people wanted to hear, the Carolina Panthers, at the behest of our head coach, Dave Canales, are giving Ejiro Evero the benefit of the doubt, and he will be the Panthers' defensive coordinator going into 2025. Boys, is this the worst mistake that Dave Canales has ever made? Or do you believe that there is some truth to the fact that the lack of talent and the amount of injuries on this defense took an insurmountable toll that Evero was never going to be able to overcome? Boys, it's a free-for-all, damn it. Jump on it.
I would say, to be honest, I was disappointed. I was aggravated. I was a little pissed. Then I stopped and I realized that half of the fan base has been telling me that they wanted to keep him. And some beat reporters have been saying that he probably wouldn't be fired. So reluctantly, I came to the conclusion that whether I liked it or not, he's going to be here next year. And Dan Morgan and Evero, or Dan Morgan and Dave Canales, are giving him that benefit of the doubt. And they seem to agree with everyone else that his problem has all been related to the mighty injury bug. So,
I mean, there is one thing that's true, right? 87 people were used on this roster more than any other NFL team.
Exactly.
Pickle, if you had something else, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. The only team that had more injuries than we did was the Lions, and that's just the truth of it.
Dude, the Lions are so incredible to me, the amount of injuries that they've been through, and they're still the number one seed in the NFC. Right. Dude, that's a kudos to that.
Yeah, and shout out to the Lions. It does look like that they will lose both coordinators this year.
Yeah, well, this will be the third year in a row that
we'll see how good they really are, Pickle.
Yeah, Ben Johnson has been the top name the past two coaching cycles, so that'll be interesting to see what happens. But you're right, Pickle. There was more fans, I feel like, that were, if you were over here on C3, I feel like most of us have been on the Fire Evero train. But there was a large contingent of Panther fans who felt like, dude, he wasn't ever going to be able to do anything with this defense. And like I put on Twitter too, and I can put it up here in a minute, we knew going into this season that we were going to be punting on defense a little bit, boys. The mission was to build the offense around Bryce, put weapons around him, build up the offensive line, and actually see if this offense can show some signs of life. Dan Morgan made some moves in the offseason to build the defense, and it didn't really come together until later on after DJ Wonnum came back. Jadeveon Clowney finally started to turn it on after he felt a little bit more healthy. But man, missing Derek Brown the entire season, especially the last 2 weeks in a row, you were missing J.C. Horn, you're missing Shaq Thompson, you traded away Brian Burns, even though a lot of us wanted him to do so. You've lost a lot of pieces on defense, and that's not even to mention Frankie Louvu, who was a big part of our defense this past year.
All-Pro this year, bro. He got voted All-Pro.
He did, man. Frankie Louvu.
Man, that's a bad look.
And Jeremy Chin has graded out pretty well as a safety over there for the Commanders as
Right.
well.
And
Also,
it-
well, let me add on top of this too, Pickle, that something that we also have to continue to bring up in relationship to Evero is that a lot of people felt like and still feel like he's not utilizing the talent on the team to the best of their benefits, as exampled by Frankie Louvu and Jeremy Chin last year, who barely ever saw the field. So help me out here, boys. Is there an argument to be made in favor of Ejiro Evero?
So I don't know if there's an argument to be made in favor of Vero, but I think from a schematic perspective, when Canales had his press conference after the last game, he talked about how he liked Vero and whatever, and he believed in him, whatever. But he was talking about the scheme, and he was talking about how Vero was going to, they were going to talk about different schemes, different looks, different lineups, different ways to use players. So in my head, I really feel like David Tepper has told Dan Morgan and Dave Canales, okay, this is the kind of offense I want to run. This is the kind of defense I want to run. And they're under the impression that Canales is Evero only has 1 year left on his deal, but they're going to run a 3-4 anyways because that's what their boss said. So to them, I'm not entirely certain that they don't just go out and get. I'm not entirely unsure, I should say, that they don't just go out and get the guys that they want to fill those positions. That way, if Vero, they've verbally said that he's going to stay, but if he continues to be the defensive coordinator after they move all his players and rotate the staff and all that, if he continues to want to stay in that position, I believe that he's going to be forced into changing a lot of the things, the ways that they line up. I think a lot of his formations are going to change, and I think a lot of the alignments are going to change just based on the fact that Tepper and Canales and Morgan are all seemingly on the same page that we're going to run a 3-4 because they all say they know how it works when it's supposed to work. Yeah. So for me, it's like a schematic. Like I believe in this, not particularly who's running it.
Yeah. And Canales has said multiple times, even a couple of weeks ago, that, the defense that he went up against with the Rams when Evero was there, he talked about how aggressive it is and that he knows what it has the potential to be. I feel like as a whole, they just want to give Evero another year to bolster that defense with more talent to be able to run it in the way that he envisions. And he really did double down on that scheme and how much he believes in it. Let me go to Alex. Alex, what are your thoughts on this defense, man? Retaining Ejiro Evero. Yeah.
I don't know how much involvement Tepper has in the actual picking of how we're going to play, but our fan base for the longest time made, seemingly in hindsight, a very bad judgment on Bryce and how things were going with him, and that he was a bust. He wasn't good enough. He needed to go. There was a witch hunt out for him for the longest time, and we wanted somebody else in. But obviously Dan and Dave have managed to sort of turn that around in their own way. And that, for me, sort of gives me it sort of gives me a reason to say, well, if they've seen enough to keep Evero, then I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt as well. Don't get us wrong. I was very much in the camp of, I'm sick of the scheme. I'm sick of, to be honest, I'm just sick of seeing his face on the sideline after we've dropped however many yards in the camera pans to him, and he's just standing there like a gum. Yeah. But if that's what we've got to put up with for another season, then so be it. If we get the defensive reinforcements that we expect we're going to get in the draft, and it's still just as shit, or it's not as great as we expect it to be, then if we've got to deal with it for another year, then so be it. It's going to be more than a 1 year process. I'm not convinced we're going to be pushing for playoffs next year either way. But Yeah, that's my opinion on it anyway.
So
Yeah.
it,
Go ahead, Nick.
here's the way I look at it, Cody and fellas. I think it starts with, I think they're trying to create stability and continuity, right? They just don't want to start over. And clearly, there's reason to believe and want Evero gone. But just like Alex said, I'm gonna have to agree with him. The fact that they're giving him the benefit of the doubt, like, who are we to question them? You know what I mean? They're the ones getting paid $1 million to make these decisions.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
clearly, there's a reason, and they think highly of Ejiro Evero. They clearly think, the injuries and everything clearly played a part in it. Now, whether that is true, it's remained to be seen. Now, last year we were top 5 in yards allowed per game when we had Frankie Louvu and Brian Burns and a healthy Derek Brown. So they're looking at it probably like with Bryce's resurgence, with Derek Brown coming back. If we can get a couple players, we might be looking like something. You know what I mean? So I think that's why, and stability is the main word, and continuity. I think the big 5 is Dan Morgan, Brant Tillis, Dave Canales, Ejiro Evero, and Brad Idzik, and they're starting. That's the core, and they're just building branches off that.
No, that's a great point, man. And then listen, even if you look at Bryce and how they benched him, moved on from him, obviously everyone knows the Andy Dalton car crash thing, but then going back to him, I think was kind of a representation for Dave Canales about, hey, just because something goes bad doesn't necessarily mean that you should jump ship the moment that you get the opportunity to do so. And we've mentioned it before. All the players that we've lost, it's a tough ask. It really is. But listen, I'll also say this though. I wanted Evero to be fired. I wanted to move on. I've personally espoused my liking for Robert Saleh. I think a lot of us did. However, I know the boys here on the panel can vouch for me here. Deez, Pickle, Kyle. I also said that, to me, I don't believe Evero is the worst defensive coordinator in the NFL. I just felt that his time had run long. Now, granted, the stats might tell you different now. They might tell you that he is. But I really do think that going into next season, that Dave Canales and Brant Tillis and Dan Morgan deserve the opportunity of another year to build this thing up the way they want it to be built. They finally saw the step forward from the offense that they wanted and needed this year. Now, this entire offseason, as an organization, they have a collective focus to get meaner, nastier, and aggressive on defense. And I love that objective is crystal clear for everyone. Let me welcome Chuck to the Friday free-for-all. Chuck, welcome to the show, brother. How are you, man? Chuck, you're muted, bro. Do I got you? Big Chuck. All right, we'll come back to Chuck in a minute.
Well, let me say real quick,
ahead,
if I can. If you look at the defense, Evero learned this defense from the current defensive coordinator of the Eagles. But he also learned a lot. Yeah, Fangio. But he also learned a lot. He learned it right about the same time as the defensive coordinator of the Broncos. So if you look at the Broncos defense, it's real similar to what Evero wants, which does not necessarily include a large, massive nose tackle as people think. Now, that being said, if you look at this defense that we just went through, when you put in Derek Brown is healthy, you put in Shaq Thompson's healthy, you make DJ Wanham available from the get-go. Does it change things? It very well may. It very well may. Now, we don't know that for a fact. The biggest thing that I think we should evaluate to understand Evero, now take it from last year, he likes to use safeties in coverage a little bit. That's not that unusual. The Saints were using a safety in the nickel position occasionally. Many people call it the big nickel. Right now, there are safeties across the league. Some of the best safeties can line up in man coverage. That's just fact how they do that now. That way, it gives you a hand as stopping the run and in coverage. So, if you look at what we need to do, you should consider upgrading the safety position in a multiple facet. You need to find a safety who's good, who can walk up and go man to man against a tight end, maybe even a receiver. You find that safety there. That may be the key guy you want. And somebody's going to say, well, he should have done Jeremy Chin. Let's be real. Jeremy Chin was okay here, but he wasn't the best safety in coverage at all.
No, he was a box safety.
However, this year in safety, he has played pretty good. That was the
he has, but
I saw.
He has, but anyway, I just say that I do agree with Kyle. I believe you're going to see some adjustments. Now, I know that the Broncos defensive coordinator, and I don't remember his name even, but the Broncos are in the playoffs. So their defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, when he got there to Denver, he evaluated and he made a few small adjustments, and it is what it is now. And it's one of the best defenses in the league. You just, and hey, I was the guy that I want to say screaming at the loudest that Evero had to go. I was that guy. So, nobody's more disappointed in me, but I know that I can't stand over here and kick and scream all day. It gives no effort to that. So and I also can't say that I trust Dan Morgan and I trust Dave Canales and then criticize them over every decision they make. That's hypocritical. So I'll say, it is what it is. We'll evaluate. And my man D's said it from the get-go this season, that this defense was top heavy. And if you lose some of your top guys or some of your top guys fail, there's nothing underneath them. And that's exactly what we saw. Derek Brown went down. Who was underneath him? LeBron Ray. We know how that worked.
LeBron Ray. Man, it wasn't.
Jewell gets hurt, or Shaq Thompson got hurt. Josie Jules got hurt. They threw the rookie in there, even though it was too early for him. He got hurt. What were we doing? Fifth, sixth string linebacker.
Brutal.
It's a tough ask. Chuck, do I got you?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, Chuck?
Nothing much.
Yeah, man. Jump in on this conversation, bro. What do you think about Ejiro Evero being retained as a defensive coordinator? Is it the worst move that Dave Canales has made, or do you think that this could end up being okay if we're able to draft some better players and bring in some more help in free agency?
I think it's a prove-it year. Like you said, it's a prove-it year on offense and defense, like you said. I honestly believe that two safeties, if the Panthers draft Malachi Starks and go a little bit down and get Javon Holland, I don't think anyone would be mad. This team needs safeties and depth. No depth at all. That's right, NC Thorne. No depth at all. To be honest with you, if they go all defensive draft, they won't be that mad.
I think they will. We have 9 picks right now. So if 5 of them are on defense, I'm happy, and especially seeing as how we've been able to hit some of the some of the later round picks. Trevin Wallace was looking good. Jatavion Sanders was looking good. We've had some players in the middle rounds that have been able to produce for us. So hopefully we can continue that, and Evero can change our perception of him. I feel like every year I'm saying, boys, it's a prove-it year. It's a prove-it year. Don't tell me something nice. Go out and show me something nice. And that's really
the last year of his contract.
Yeah.
It's the last year of Avero's contract. It is a prove-it year for him. And that's what I was trying to ask to you, Cody, if you want to answer. What in the world is their plan going forward? If Evero does poorly this year, they just let him go, the contract's over? Or you stack 5 to 7 defensive picks in this draft in his defense, guys that he wants, and then you move on from him? That doesn't make any sense. You must be betting that he's the future for the Panthers. And I don't know where they got that information. CK went on a 4-minute diatribe on the Tuesday night show talking about all these stats that Evero had and how bad it was. And we know over the last 2 years we've been dead last in turnovers. The Panthers have. We don't generate them, and we can say it's the roster. We can say it's injuries. That's fine. But my question to you, Cody, is what is the plan going forward? What, he has a great year. We re-sign him for multiple years, and if that's not the answer, then how much of a mess are we in? Is my real question.
Yeah, that's all good questions, because remember, not too long ago, he was being talked out like a head coach candidate, that someone that was going to get a real shot somewhere else. And look, I think it's still obvious that a lot of people, obviously in our organization, like him, but there are people around the NFL who probably still think really highly of him and the coaching tree that he comes from, like Pickle said, Vance Joseph. So I really don't know. A lot of it is going to be based upon how he's able to respond this next season, because I feel like after this year, they're going to have to do something anyway. They're either going to have to get a brand new defensive coordinator to replace him after losing him, or if things continue to be bad, how about this? He's a candidate to be fired in the middle of the season next year. Like if we go out and we're able to put some players on this defense, especially players that are meant to stop the run, and we're still not able to do those things, then yeah, man, we might very well be talking about Evero being fired after, I don't know, week 7 or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
It depends on what happens going forward. Hey, let me welcome Vegas Drew back on the free for all. Drew, what's up, man?
Not much, guys. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you, brother?
Oh, same old shit.
I got you, man. How do you feel about Ejiro Evero returning as defensive coordinator?
I feel like everybody's in the same boat. Like, he didn't really show us anything schematically this year. Like, when you're give up the most points in NFL history in a season, granted we have an extra game, so it's kind of a little skewed, but it's still not good. I'm not like blown away. I wouldn't be I'm not disappointed, but I'm also not happy that he's still there. I got so sick of watching Jadeveon Clowney and DJ Wanham out in like covering the flat. Like, it's so, to me, that's stupid. It's like a waste of not even talent, but that's just not even their skill set.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you're hoping that Clowney can cover a tight end or a wide receiver in the flat, you're just that's a losing strategy every time to me. So as long as he can adapt, I don't know what kind of players he has to have to run, quote unquote, his system.
Yeah.
But I guess, like you said, if you run him I'd rather, like, there's a lot of good defensive coordinators out there. Like, not saying they come here, but like Sala, or there's some good ones out there. But we'll see how it goes. Like I said, you get fired at halfway point. Most of us we're traditional. Carolina's been known for defense, not necessarily offense. And we've always ran a 4-3, and we always had a good, if not great, run-stopping defense.
Yeah.
And it's weird to watch us just get marched on for a whole season. And, so I feel like we're turning into the Saints where we're going to try to outscore people. And, like, if you're banking, I was so confused by that last win of ours over the Falcons. Like, how did we win that game when they had all those passing yards and all those rushing yards? I guess that one turnover really must have kind of flipped the script for us in our favor. But you can't bank on that every time.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, it's a testament to Bryce Young and that offense and Adam Thielen and the boys, and going out there and fucking playing out of their mind. Kudos to them, doing it on the road to finish the season. I'm a big proponent of that. Like, dude, if you're good at drafting, you're going to find a good player. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not losing sleep over whatever it is, the 3 or 4 picks that we maybe lost, losing to Atlanta. I would much rather us go into the season or go into the offseason with Bryce coming off of his best performance of his entire career, being 5 touchdowns, 3 passing, 2 running. Never been done in the history of a Panther quarterback. Dude, that's wild shit considering who our former number 1 is. That's a interesting stat. But this defense, it's going to have to look entirely different next year. It really is, man, because even if we have a dynamic offense, we have to be good situationally on defense. I call it the bend, don't break. So if they're throwing and running all up and down the field, fine. But clamp down in the red zone, force them to 3 points, and go out there and take care of business when it matters most. And if you can do that, then you're giving your offense more of an opportunity to be effective and put points on the board. That's real complementary football that we have not seen from the Panthers in a very long time. Whenever the offense plays good, the defense shits the bed, and vice versa. Like, this is like normal for us now. So it's going to take a concerted effort by everyone to make this a well-rounded football team going into next season. And you're going to need more talent. You're going to need a vision that everyone believes in. And I don't know if they believe in Evero, man. I'm not in that locker room. I can't tell you what Derek Brown and J.C. Horn think of him. I mean, they've talked about him in interviews before, but we don't really know. That's just what they're telling us. So the 3-4 has never been popular here in Carolina. I know Pickles never loved it. I've never really loved it, but they're committed to trying to make this work. And as of right now, we have no other option but to trust them and, trust that they have a plan to actually turn the defense around.
I mean, Dan Morgan gives a 25-minute interview on Monday, Cody, right? And he all but throws his hand up and says, "My bad, dog. I let EJ down, so we're going to bring him back and let him run it back again." And if you think about what he did in the draft with his first pick, what did he take? He took a wide receiver with his second pick. What did he take? He took a running back with his third pick. What did he take? A linebacker that probably wasn't going to start. He only started because Shaq Thompson got hurt. So in some ways, I can see where Dan Morgan took some blame for this. But at the same time, let's look at the performance of Jalen Coker, right? Jalen Coker has set the record as our most successful UDFA rookie wide receiver in Panthers history. And he was able to do this from not only the coaching of Dave Canales, but the tutelage of Adam Thielen. But we didn't see that type of effect on defense. We didn't have guys that came out of the woodwork just to have a great season like we did with Jalen Coker, which makes me think that maybe that failure is starting from the defensive coordinator and up at the top side of that defense, the guy that's leading those meetings each and every week. Who knows, right? Dan Morgan sticks up for him. Fine. We're going forward with EJ. We're going to commit some serious draft capital to him this year. Maybe the 8th overall pick is going to be for EJ, and we'll get a star on defense, and things will be different. We'll have guys healthy. But to me, it just seems like I said before in the free-for-all, I would have fired him already in the bye week and moved on and headed a different direction. What we go 6 weeks giving up 200 yards rushing, and that wasn't the death knell. So Dan Morgan really took a lot of blame for how the defense looked this year.
He really did. I'm gonna read a little bit of this, and then I'm gonna introduce some more people into the show. Panthers general manager Dan Morgan knows what the problems are with his current roster, and he used the word aggressive 5 times during his season-ending press conference Monday. But as he transitions into his second offseason, putting together the roster he used to be a part of, he also wants to build this thing the right way. He said, "I'm not really into quick fixes. I don't think there's such a thing as a quick fix. Obviously, you want to fix things as soon as possible, but I'm just going to go into it as it is. Hey, listen, we know who we were on the defensive side of the ball. We do have to continue to add playmakers on that side of the ball. So I just think we have to look at every avenue and explore every avenue to find those playmakers. And hey, if we find somebody we like, whether trade, draft, whether free agency, we're going to explore every path." Now, what I'm hoping that means, he said aggressive 5 times. To me, I'm hoping that means identify the badasses that this defense has to have and stop at nothing to get them on your football team. And I'm loving that from Dan, and I'm approving of his message to find some dogs. Let me welcome in my man from the West Coast, Alex, A14 Panthers, back on the free-for-all. Alex, hope you're doing well, and I hope you have no family members that are near or around that fire out in L.A., brother.
Hey, appreciate that, Cody. Happy Friday, fellas. Everyone's okay. Last couple of days, no electricity, no hot water, but
man.
Yeah, so I mean we're up and running now. But I appreciate all you guys, And obviously, God bless everybody that's dealing with those fires. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, shout out Mossy.
Yeah, prayers up to Mossy. Prayers up to everyone out in California who's been affected by these terrible fires, man. It's just tragic seeing the nursing homes being evacuated and the hospitals. It's just brutal, man. But Alex, welcome to the show, brother. We are retaining Ejiro Evero. What did you make of this news, and how are you taking it? Is there anything good to be made from the Panthers retaining Evero?
The only thing that's good, I guess, about keeping him is the continuity, like just keeping the coaching staff together. I think sometimes that just helps, like when it comes to like identifying, like understanding like the schemes and all of that stuff. Sometimes when you're just switching coordinators, switching staff, like you finally learn something and now you got to learn something different. So I don't know. I understand that a lot of us wanted Evero gone after this year, especially with his, with the defense, how it was this year. But then at the same time, I've said it a couple of times, we just, the players that were out there, a lot of them were guys that most likely they probably not even playing like on other teams. Like they're on back to squad or not even on a team. So I give Evero, some props with what he had, but at the same time, I'm excited to see what Dan Morgan is going to do. I saw last offseason, we were really hurting on the offensive line, and Dan Morgan brought in two amazing, two great guards, honestly, that played real well this year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what he could do on the defensive side now. And he said, like you guys were talking about, he's going to be aggressive. So let's see. I mean, obviously, I think we all know we're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. That's one. So hopefully we can get some guys that'll get some pressure.
Yes.
And then obviously the backside of it, the secondary, the safeties, a little bit more safety help. But I like our corners. I like Mike Jackson. I kind of like JC Horn. I mean, I like those guys. And I think if you're getting pressure on the quarterback, those guys are dogs. I think those guys could definitely help. So, but yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. And just to give some context to how aggressive Dan Morgan might be able to be right now, we're currently on SpotRack listed at 21st in total cap space. We're above 23 million, almost to 24 million. Now they might make some moves. Brent Tillis and them might, work some of their magic and make some more dollars here and rework some contracts. But it's still 21st. That's not necessarily what I would call aggressive money. Maybe Pickle has some ideas on how we can make some more money. I know Pickle's good with that stuff, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do and how they decide to free up more cap space if they decide that there's somebody that they want to bring back. And, dude, how about this? A name that I want to bring back, and I know he'd probably be expensive, and I know that a lot of people are going to cry about it. Bring back Hassan Reddick. Bring him back, dude. We're in a 3-4 defense. That's what is perfectly fit to run. He's an outside linebacker. He's going to get after the quarterback, and he's already done it both seasons that he played for the Panthers. I think that would be an incredible signing. But, Panthers, they don't tend to listen to your boy. Let me welcome in my friend Twan Don from the 704 Charlotte Pound Show. Twan, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Big Twan, you with me?
What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
How y'all doing?
Ejiro Evero is still here. Twan, how you feeling about it, bro?
I don't like it. I'm not gonna go long on that. I mean, I just tell people to refer to what Diesel Skill says. I ask questions when it comes to Evero, man. What other coach that does something like that? You know what I'm saying? And retains his job. Who has the worst anything on a job and retains their job? You know what I'm saying? Look, man, people don't give a fuck who he had on the field. You know what I'm saying? You are the coach. Your job is to bring the best. What is the definition of coaching? Your job is to bring the best out of your players, and Evero didn't trust his players all year. So why should they have trusted in him? He didn't believe in his players, bro. Anytime he blitzed, they got there. He didn't blitz. He sat in that zone all day. Those are all signs of not trusting the players. No one gives a shit about what he had because injuries are a part of football. You know, I'm not going. You don't always grade a coach on when he has the best. You grade a coach on when he has mediocre or not so good. Evero dropped the ball. He never wanted to really be here. I don't get it. I don't. It's Panthers doing Panthers shit. This is why the Carolina Panthers make me so nervous because they continue to do shit like this that doesn't make sense. And it's just like, man, I know they don't give a shit about what fans think, but this is why we don't trust them half the time, bro. This makes no sense. It makes no sense. And they don't give a shit what we think.
There's two things that I really dislike about what Evero does. The amount of times that we drop our outside linebackers back into coverage on third downs to me is very depressing. And like I said earlier, like I mentioned, you see Frankie Louvu not want to resign with the Carolina Panthers, even though we essentially made his career here.
I didn't even add that. The guys that wanted to leave.
He did. They did not want to be a part of Evero's defense. And then the person who they didn't even want to bring back because they wouldn't even use him in the first place was Jeremy Chin. And we mentioned him earlier. To me, these are the biggest issues. I don't like it when dudes don't want to play in your system. To me, that's not a great sign. And the amount of times that we're just not able to stop the run over a 3-year period under Evero, I don't love it. But at the same time, I'm just not going to freak out about it. I didn't believe in Bryce either. I'm going to be real, and I know most of us are probably in agreement. None of us, I mean, maybe a rare few, saw Bryce being able to turn it around and do what he did this year. I had no idea that he was going to be capable of anything.
No, but the thing is, the thing is, at the end of the day, Bryce still had people that believed in him. You know what I'm saying? People that trusted him, and he trusted people. There was no trust with Evero, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got DBs playing 15 yards off of wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, I don't know how to keep telling this anymore, bro. A coach's job is to get the best out of his players, not vice versa.
That is the truth.
I don't think Evero knows how to use talented players that don't fit his system.
Right.
Like he could use. What's weird about him and what's frustrating, like why people are like so like iffy about him, is that he could make kind of bummish, middling players play well as long as they fit into his system. And that's kind of a weird concept to me. Like, like you said, we had Louvu and Chin. Like, those guys are definitely more talented than the players that we have on our team right now. Yeah. Yet they just didn't fit in his system. And therefore, he was just like, I don't want him in there. So it's a kind of a weird thing that he can't take, talented players that we have already. And if he just doesn't see him in the system, he just brushes them to the side. It's kind of odd to me.
And what the Carolina Panthers did was some NFL bullshit. It's called politics. What they did is they thought they was going to make people happy by firing his staff. Who does the staff report to? Him. Yeah. That was a cop-out. Everybody knows that's a damn cop-out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who was the chef in the kitchen cooking? You can't blame his staff and the sous chef and all these other people for what they're doing when they're receiving direction from the look, man, we gotta have to remember this phrase: Panthers doing Panthers shit.
Well, I
will also say I think Evero does scheme. He can scheme well from time against certain offenses. Like that's why you see us shut down certain teams, and we're in games, and you're just like, how are we in this game when we know we suck? Like we just have I think randomly he can scheme up a good game. I just think he's like. It's kind of funny you brought it up. He's like Bryce Young in that even from the coaching position, he's super inconsistent, just like Canales was with calling plays. Super inconsistent.
Yeah, let me go to Kyle real quick. Go ahead, Kyle.
Well, if you think about it like this, Twan, and I kind of agree with you because I'm not of the camp where I wanted Evero to stay. I did not. However, I think of this mindset. If Tepper says Canales is good and he wants him to stay for the 3 years that he's here, or that he signed him for, Canales says, okay, I'll give you a workaround instead. I'll change all the position coaches that report underneath him on his last year of his deal. And if he can't perform, he's the fuck out of here because it's him now.
Mhm.
We replaced all the coaches. It's 100% him.
Let me ask you a question before Cody brings in his next guest. I'm asking this to all of y'all. How many games did the Carolina Panthers win in the last 2 years where you can honestly say the defense won that game for us?
Maybe that Falcons game last year, or the Houston game last year.
Fuck no, we had to outscore everybody. We had to outfield goal to outscore everybody.
Technically, I would say, Twan, the Tampa game at the end of the year last year, 2 penalties or basically 2 drops were the reason that game didn't end 14-9 because the defense stopped them from getting a touchdown.
Well,
So if we can only name 1 or 2 games, then how do you get to keep your job if you only did it twice?
I hear
Hey, I'm not disagreeing.
1-2 games last year.
Let me just say this. The game that came to my head, and you're not wrong, Twan. There's not enough games for us to mention, but the game that comes to my mind is the Texans last year. We didn't do shit on offense, and the defense pretty much saved the game for us. So that's it's
okay. We'll give him that one. What else?
I mean, no,
we only won 2.
Hey, D Money. He's saying, look, I got 2 quality games on my resume. I need my job back.
Hey, let me
Ain't nothing else. Everybody on this panel wanted Evero fired.
Everybody
just didn't get it. So as much as life goes on.
It's like Cody saying I showed up to work on time twice, so I need a promotion.
Hey man, look, let me welcome my homie, one of the most optimistic Panthers brothers I have, my man, D Money in the building. What up, D?
Yeah. Hey, D Money. Before you even get started, bro, let me go ahead and campaign this shit for you real quick.
All right.
This man's show is back. I'm behind this man. His show, Off the Porch Podcast. He's back. Y'all already know the energy that this man brings, bro. So y'all need to sign up. Y'all need to hit that damn like button. Y'all need to go do whatever you need to do to find Off the Porch Podcast and go support this damn brother and stop talking and running your mouth and hitting the goddamn like button and subscribing to some real shit.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
I love it.
Yo, first off, I want to say I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, just like I appreciate the whole family or whatever. Hey, I'm just here trying to live a dream. But besides that, anytime I can talk to the family and be able to just talk some good football, cut a joke or two, I'm gonna be here with you. We were talking about EJ. That's what we were talking about.
Evero, how you feel about retaining him, bro?
Well, see, this is where the thing is, because I think a lot of people think I'm kind of brain dead on the situation. Because for one, I don't see him getting a training camp. Like everybody saw the press conference, right? Well, I'm kind of a person that I read into stuff, right? And for one, he said right now. He's our defensive coordinator that will lead us on into training camp, right? But that was right then. And then I look at the time frame of it wasn't even 24 hours from the last game where, Dan hadn't sat down. Dave ain't sat down. They ain't sat down with him. They ain't sat down with Tip. They haven't sat down and reviewed the film, even though there's no film needed when you're breaking records in the wrong end of the on the wrong side of history. But the biggest thing, like with Evero, that I feel that he has to leave is not even the inept scheme. And that's bad enough on its own that you can send him out of there. But it's the fact of too stubborn to make in-game adjustments.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And it's not, you can't sell me on the scenario that we're not making the adjustments because we don't have the personnel, because you're not even trying to see if the personnel can strive in those adjustments.
Thank you.
So if you now on top of that, let's go back. Now, I'm not a large gentleman, but I played football from Pop Warner through high school. I played a little bit of corner. Even at my size, if I had to line up at corner in the red zone or the goal line, if I would have lined 4 to 5 yards off of the receiver, I would have not been back on that field again for the rest of the game and possibly the rest of the season. Reason why is, first of all, when somebody, and for this dude to be so high paid of a defensive coordinator, it boggles my mind every time I see it, that if you got a receiver like Drake London, right, and you got the corner 4 to 5 yards off, the first thing I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to slant this brother. I'm going to let him go ahead and get his position, and I'm going to let him score. And he's going to 85 to 90% of the time, he's going to get it. And then because you have the unwillingness to let JC travel with the number one receiver or the receiver that is getting off on us in that game, you're willing to let guys get punished that don't have to get punished if you just make simple, timely adjustments. It's not hard. Every single person who has played in the NFL, played in college, played in high school, played Pop Warner, some kind of recreational, either way, they played. They understand an adjustment is needed. It might not be their skill set, but they'll try to find their way to put themselves in the best position that they can make a play. The problem with our defense is you're not allowing people to be able to be playmakers on defense because you always got them sitting 4 and 5 yards off. If we're going to blitz, we're going to send Dane Jackson. He probably the same height as I am, but weigh 30, 40 more pounds. I'm going to tell you now, you send me on the blitz, I'm not going to get nobody. I'm going to tell you right now, if Twan's standing on that line and he see that it look like I'm about to blitz, he about to smile, he laughing, he's having a good time because he know that's an easy rep. So when they know that we either sending Dane Jackson or another smaller fellow to go after the quarterback, man, they are loving it. They're loving every minute of it. But you got guys like they just want to take Trevin Wallace and just drop him back in coverage. Well, that dude's got some thumpers on him. He's got some speed on him. How about you make an adjustment and send him a couple of times and see if he can get to the quarterback? That's what you're paying these guys for. And first of all, the biggest indictment for me in all this is we got rid of how many coaches got fired this week? As far as in our building, like positional coaches and so forth.
3, according to Pickle.
3 of them are gone. Okay. If 3 of them are gone, that's not a scapegoat because the simple fact is it's just blatant deniability. If as bad as we were on the other side of history, right? I'm not even looking at them guys first. I'm looking at EJ. Look at how the biggest indictment also is how much that man is getting paid. You understand what I'm saying? Some head coaches won't making that type of money he was making when that deal was made at that time, at least from my knowledge. So for me, we supposed to get our money's worth, right? I was expecting that we were building. Now, first year, I gave it the first year. The second year, I was on that dumb train as a lot of people. He don't have the personnel. Guys are hurt, right? But when you get into the third year, and me proudly being a United States Marine, there was one thing that they taught us in boot camp. First time, mistake. Second time, okay, you tripping. Third time, it's a trend. Once it becomes a trend, it is the truth, okay? If anybody on this panel can tell me anything, any player that he has developed since he's been here, if you can show me anybody that's elevated their game that you can point at Ejiro Evero and say that his schemes or his outlook on how he calls defense put them in a better position to make them plays, I am more than willing to listen to you. I'm still not going to believe you, but I am willing to listen to you. All right? But this is my thing. Like I said, Dave Canales has sat there and been very coy since he's gotten here. Dan has kept things the best since he's acquired that job. So for them just to tell me that he's the defensive coordinator right now, and we won't even 24 hours after the game was over with, I'm not believing any of it, and I'm taking it with a grain of salt. To be quite honest with you, I don't even know if he's going to be here draft day. And if they don't want to keep him, I would prefer that he's
That-
gone before the draft.
So,
That's why me and D Money, when we was talking the other night, when we said if something don't add, it was me, D Money, and Pickle, and them. We said something don't add up with this because it's not like you're gonna bring this guy back and you're gonna let him go out there. Like, what do we need most of the draft? Defense. You really gonna let him have an influence on picking in that damn draft? Okay, where's Jamie Robinson? Where's Jamie Robinson at? He's gone. What did DJ Johnson do? Nothing.
Let me ask this. So, D, basically what you're saying is you don't even think that this is a done deal. You think
I absolutely, with everything in my soul, unless I see him on that sideline when we get to training camp, I have no doubt in my mind that we will have a defensive coordinator going into next season.
Okay,
Not in the middle of the season firing.
All right, Panther Pickle. Let me let me ask you, but I'm gonna let you say what you want. Then we're gonna pay some bills. But let me ask you: is there any chance that Evero can change this, or are we just doomed to repeat all the same mistakes that D Money just mentioned?
You just said, look at his track record. Go ahead, Pickle. I'm sorry.
There's always a chance. I mean, there's a chance that it's 80 degrees tomorrow. I doubt it. Well, I'm sure somewhere it is, but not where I'm living. You know, there's a chance that I could win the multi-trillion-dollar lottery without buying a ticket, but I doubt it. Now that being said, though, let's look at the three assistants they fired. They fired Bobby Maffier, a defense quality co-coach who's been here since Matt Rule was here. He's long overdue to being fired.
Yep, agreed.
They fired the safeties coach.
Agreed.
Now, let's be real. There ain't nobody in this whole room going to tell us the safety coach.
I couldn't even tell you his name, Pickle.
All right, they fired the outside linebackers coach. Now they ain't
Don't
but
know
two
him
outside
neither.
linebackers coach, or there ain't but two outside linebackers on this team that were effective at anything. One of them's been in the NFL for about 10 years. The other's been in there for about 6 years. And if you're an outside linebackers coach and you're living your life off two old veterans like that, you's a pathetic son of a bitch. Now, let's go on with the roll. Now,
how you really
that
feel.
being said, it's long overdue. Now, if you go back in time, folks, recently time, we had a head coach that was questioned. Now, during the offseason, a lot of people said he was on the hot seat. Nobody in charge said he was on a hot seat. Nobody said he was on a hot seat. But they hired and we found out that it was owner convinced the head coach to hire him, a guy named Steve Wilkes. Before that, the owner turned down a few guys Mr. Ron Rivera wanted in favor of this other gentleman, and Ron hired him. Both those situations, the guy hired end up replacing the head coach. Now, if you look at the situation that's going on, there's a coach that me and Kyle's talked about named Chris Richardson with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has a long history with Dan and Dave. Okay. Right now, he appears to be wide open. Do not take this. Do understand some of these replacements are going to be veteran coaches who maybe one or two of them has had experience either being a coordinator or an interim. And don't be shocked if a few months into the season, this defense don't turn around and they fire him then. Remember what Kyle said, and Kyle's right on the money. Yeah. Right now, maybe, they do this in a combination. Maybe they can't convince, hypothetically say there's three people, Dan, Dave, and Tep. Hypothetically, let's say somebody says, no, I don't want to let him go yet. You don't know which one it is. Dan and Dave has backed him up. You can tell that by watching the interview. Now, who knows? It's like the players have backed him up. And that's what threw me off base. Now, I know some people's going to say, well, what else are they going to say?
Because they want to play.
Yeah, but
let me finish. Stop the bullshit here. Stop the bullshit. Mr. Clowney's been in the NFL long enough. He don't have to suck up like he did. He can simply say, that's not my job. That's not my decision. He can say, well, I like the defense, but that's not me. I don't make those decisions. Did he say that? No, he didn't. He went to a long explanation on how he liked it. Okay? All the defensive players said the same thing. They always backed him up. They apparently like him. I don't. I first of all, I've said it before. I'm biased against Evero because I don't like the 3-4. It don't matter who you bring in. If he brings in the 3-4, I'm going to be biased against him. I don't really bring in Mike Tomlin to run our defense. I ain't going to like him either because he brings in the 3-4. That's just fact how it is, boys and girls. I don't like the 3-4. I never will like the 3-4, and I'm very anti-3-4ish. But that's me. And I accept who I am, and I open that. Now, that being said, could he change? He could change because we've seen it before. We've seen defensive coordinators turn everything around, drop of a hat. You know, I can't tell you how many people this time last year screamed, Bryce Young, pack your bags.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody thinks that they know what's going to happen.
How many people said he was trash and they're done and he's worthless?
Yeah, and Pickle, like last year, one of the better defensive coordinators in football was the Bengals defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo. And they just fired his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
So look, there can be a vast change in performance amongst coordinators from season to season. Like, that's just the cold hard facts of it, man.
Can I tell you? Let me tell you one more thing, man.
Yeah,
I've said this. Okay, I've said this on the show before, though, man. Because I know we did it at the collegiate level, but what a lot of people are not privy to is take Jeremy Chin and Frankie Louisville. And when guys are thinking about going to a new place and they know each other, go to the same parties and shit. Hey, D Money, if I call you up and go, I'm thinking about going to Carolina, bro. Boom, 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 and you Louisville or whoever, like, what the fuck you gonna tell me, bro? What you gonna tell me?
Hey, I like Dan Quinn in Washington, bro. I'm going hanging out in Washington.
What the fuck? And then you go,
give me your
and you look up,
I'll holler at you in the off season.
And you look up and see that the same motherfucker that he left is still there. I'm like, Carolina ain't trying to change shit. Ain't going over there. They dysfunctional, bro. I mean, we continue to do shit to the masses where they go, they ain't never gonna change, bro. They like putting their feet in the mud, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this was a no-brainer.
I wonder if we'll ever get out of the mud. Canales has a plan for us to do so. But you know what? If you would like to get out of the mud, well, why don't you try your hand at playing Underdog Fantasy, the best website for underdog or for daily fantasy sports. Man, they've been cool enough to sponsor us throughout the season and into the playoffs, man. And look, they're giving you, they literally call it the gimme pick. They're giving you Justin Herbert at 0.5 total yards. That is nothing. They're giving you that. They expect to give it to you. They have CJ Stroud at 231.5 passing yards, 1.5 passing touchdowns. So, man, I'm going to be real. I like a lot of these numbers that I'm seeing. And if you also like these numbers, well, then come on over to Underdog Fantasy, man. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to cash in on all your football takes this season. Which players are going off? Which ones are ice cold? Make your entries in just a few snaps and turn your sports opinion into real money. They offer Red Zone Rush, a game you won't find anywhere else. Just pick whether or not the player will score a touchdown by swiping right for yes or left for no. Simple as that. Plus, your entry will automatically be boosted, and you'll get a 51% profit boost when you play. Join over 5 million. Yeah, that's right. 5 million fans that are already playing on Underdog with their champs game. You can win money by making entries with your favorite players. You can choose things like interceptions, touchdowns, win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Go to underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with promo code C3P, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy, promo code C3P. That helps us out tremendously, and they're going to be with us all the way until the Super Bowl, baby. Must be 18 years of age, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, and 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NEW YORK, or text HOPE New York to 467-369. Thank you so much to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the C3 Panthers podcast. Use that promo code C3P. Boys, appreciate you and your patience. Y'all check out Underdog. But let's jump back into this Dan Morgan conversation. Or no, pardon me. I want to pivot. D's Pickle. I know y'all may not have wanted to talk about it on Tuesday, but it's a free-for-all, baby, and we're going to talk about it all. There are rumors that the Carolina Panthers are going to be aggressive in procuring a number one wide receiver this offseason. An account by the name of Just Bland, he's a friend of mine on Twitter, put out a highlight video of Bryce Young throwing the ball around this year, saying he might be better than we thought he was. And Garrett Wilson, who has already been the apple of a lot of Panthers fans' eyes, commented under it saying he is. This has sent Panther Nation ablaze over the possibility of potentially trading for Garrett Wilson. I'm going to go to my brother Diesel Scales. Deez, is this just pixie dust and fairies, or could there be something real to this? And is it worth it for the Panthers to trade for Garrett Wilson?
I mean, it very well could be. I mean, we saw the difference Deontay Johnson made on this team, how he opened up different players in the passing game and found himself open as well. We know good and well that the Panthers need a true number one wide receiver on this team. But we just went over the interview with Dan Morgan where he said he was going to be very aggressive. Aggressive meaning what? Aggressive in acquiring players for the defense is what he was talking about. Does that mean that he's going to try to get players in free agency or via trade like this? I mean, it does. You could say it kind of points in that direction. And certainly a Garrett Wilson would be an incredible combination on this team. We saw how much better the offense was with Deontay Johnson. If you add a Garrett Wilson, it's going to be like a video game, literally, for the Carolina Panthers offense. And then maybe they can just allocate all the draft to Evero and then give him a couple more years on his contract, let those guys develop, and I think things would come together, Cody. It very well could work. It's possible.
It could. We're also talking about potentially giving up a first-round pick in order to go get him. Keep in mind, he has 2 years left on his deal. He has 2 yards of 1,000-plus receiving yards, and they don't have to get rid of him right now. So that's something to consider. D-Money, is this a pipe dream? Or could this be something that the Panthers might actually entertain doing?
I think they will entertain it. I think Dan evaluates talent, and if he thinks that there is a possibility that he could pull something off, I would say, okay, cool. I'm still leaning towards pipe dream. I mean, because right now we don't know like what direction the New York Jets are going. It's too early to tell like what kind of key moves that they might make, that they might want to just keep Garrett Wilson and maybe some other people leave. Or is he that unhappy that he might start to cause a little ruckus and then their hand is forced for him to go? So I don't want to, like if I had to say my wish list and put it on a cart or whatever, yeah, I would put it in the cart, but I just don't know like at this present moment if that's reality for us. But if it was to become a reality, I'm all for it. It's just I feel at this point it's a little early, so I'm gonna stay in the lane of pipe dream for right now.
Yeah. So a little bit of optimism and a little bit of pessimism in the form of Mike K and Vashti Hurt. So this is a little bit what I said. Mike K says Garrett Wilson isn't even 25 yet, and he has 2 years of club control coming off of a 1,110-yard, 7 touchdown season. They have no reason to trade him, whether he has interest or not. If a new Jets GM takes less than a top 10 pick, then in any hypothetical trade, that person should be fired before they even get to the draft. And then Vashti Hurt, with a little bit of optimism, says guys don't normally tweet that type of stuff by accident. Pickle, what's your read of this? Is it even in the tea leaves? And is it worth it? You're muted.
Okay, no, it's not in the tea leaves. And if you go back to what Garrett Wilson's exactly comments and what he was talking about, without bypassing all the bullshit all over Twitter. Okay, the bullshit, take away the bullshit. Here's how it works out. Garrett Wilson's sick and tired of Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers running the show.
True.
All right, pretty much. Now, he's pretty much told the Jet management widely in the press, because apparently they're not listening at the side, is get them sons of bitches out of here, or I want out. Now, that being said, he's still under contract. So if the new head coach comes in or the new head GM comes in and they says, we're not trading him and you're under contract and you're playing right here, boy, or you ain't playing, he ain't got a ground on earth to stand on. So all this is hype. Now, my opinion is strictly that Aaron Rodgers will probably retire. If he doesn't retire, they're going to cut him anyway. And let him and Devontae Adams go off into fairyland and play their little I'm more important than you and stroke mine and I'll stroke yours party. Now, that being said, and Garrett Wilson, as soon as them guys leave, Garrett Wilson's going to be happy. Because he's never said he hated New York. He never said he wanted out of New York. He said he didn't want to play with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams anymore. So as soon as you get them out of there, he's happy as can be. Now, does that mean that he can't post that, hey, he likes Bryce Young? Of course he can. He wasn't the only NFL player that said that Bryce Young was a great player, by the way. But he's the only one we're looking at because we all are so desperate for a receiver. But I'll say this. If Dan Morgan trades the 8th overall pick for Garrett Wilson, and this defense still sucks, that's a failed move by Dan Morgan.
Yeah, if that does happen, yeah.
That's a failed move. And you don't matter who you want to fire on this team next year. It's still a failed move by the GM. You can fire everybody, including the fan base. It's still a failed move by Dan Morgan.
Yeah, let me go to Kyle. Kyle, so to add on to this, I'll get your thoughts about Wilson. But the tweet from NFL Notifications, who, by the way, has posted some bullshit before. So take all this for a grain of salt, right? But they're saying that it's going to be between Garrett Wilson and T. Higgins. Is Garrett Wilson a possibility? Would you do it depending on the price? And does T. Higgins make more sense knowing that you aren't going to have to trade for him and all you're going to have to do is pay him in free agency? Compare those two players and which one would you rather, Kyle? You're muted, bro.
Sorry, just gauging. We had Deontay for less than half the season. In my mind, it's worth getting Garrett Wilson on with 2 years left on his rookie deal. That way, if he doesn't want to stay here after 2 years, you don't have to drop a big amount of money to keep him there, to keep him here. But in the same time, you get 2 years of a primary number one receiver that could very easily change the trajectory of how these offensive weapons grow and are used for Bryce. I think it's very T. Higgins is okay. I mean, I think he's a little overpaid. He'll be a little overpaid for, but I also really, really believe that he's not going to leave Cincinnati. So I think Garrett Wilson is really high on my list, but it's also like it's borderline pipe dream for me. Just because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want him, and the more people that want him, the less chance we have. I see us looking at maybe those are top shelf guys. We're looking at the shelf below. We're looking at the guys below that.
I know, damn it! I just always hate looking at the shelf below, Kyle. I want to look at the top
I hate it too, Cody. But we're not a top shelf team.
Let me shop off the top shelf, damn it.
Cody, hear me out, my friend.
Wait,
Okay?
Pickle, let me say this before you go, Pickle. That I have said this multiple times before, that year 3 for a rookie quarterback is the most important. Because if you're not seeing flashes of elite level of play by year 3, you have a problem on your hand. What I'm saying is that this next year is such an important year for Bryce. I'm going to be real with you. I don't want to spend the number 1 on Garrett Wilson. I prefer us go defense. But I want us to do something. If you remember what Stephon Diggs did for Josh Allen in year 3 of his career, that helped him go to the next level. All I'm saying is that in such an important year for Bryce, we need to get a dude that we can depend on those big-time moments, especially not knowing if Adam Thielen is even going to be here next year because he retired. That's all I'm saying. Something needs to happen. I'll let Pickle go, and then I'll go Alex after Pickle.
I don't necessarily agree with you on that point, but if y'all
I want to say something too.
When you drafted Bryce Young, part of the sales pitch to him was you didn't need a number 1 receiver. And the last few games he's distributed the ball so damn good, I'm going to be honest, and it's going to hurt some people's feelings. If the receivers he got would catch the fucking ball, then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Because the receivers are open. The receiver, you know what? He's too busy talking about raccoons and hunting squirrels. He needs to figure out how to catch the fucking goddamn ball. Now, that being said, with all respect, T. Higgins is quietly overrated. And he himself said, and I heard him say it, I am perfectly happy staying in Cincinnati. I would take a pay cut to play with Joe Burrow. If that's not an open invitation to the Cincinnati Bengals front office, I don't know what is.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
So, I think all this is a pipe dream. I'm not saying that we're not going to add a receiver at some point in the draft or free agency, but you're going to look at a guy who's, in my opinion, you instead of a number 1, you're going to look at a guy who gets good yak yards. Okay, who gets real good yak yards, because Bryce is so detailed at where he distributes the ball. The one thing that will kill a team, a defense, is the nickel and diamond to death. Most defenses would rather you throw it deep and hit a good deep ball one time than nickel and dime them motherfuckers.
Because it makes them run more. It makes them have to hustle more. It makes them have to they have to play from sideline to sideline and have to tackle. No, I 100% agree. Let me go to Alex, then Twan, and then I'm going to introduce someone into the show. Go ahead, Alex. Jump in on this, bro. What do you think about either Garrett Wilson or T. Higgins?
Yeah, I mean, like you guys have all alluded to already, I mean, it is a pipe dream. I know Dan Morgan's, obviously, he's going to try to be aggressive, and I think what he means by that is I'm sure he's going to make the phone call, see what, if there is an asking price for any of these guys. I'm sure there's a price for T. Higgins, and I'm sure there's, a price for Garrett Wilson, but
everybody got a price,
right? Everybody's got a price, but and like you guys have talked about, I'm okay. Honestly, I'm okay with the receiving core if it's still intact. I really want to kind of build on the defense a little bit more, but if we are going to get one of these guys, I probably would go with the Garrett Wilson, just because I think T. Higgins, he gets banged up a lot, ankles, shoulder, he's always injured to me. and that's what I'd go Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
But I'd focus more on the defense, and that's kind of
all right. No, yeah, that's all logical and reasonable. Go ahead, Twan.
Let's keep in mind real quick, man. I mean, I'm gonna ask this question facetiously first. Like, don't y'all get tired of seeing the Panthers do shit backwards, bro? You know, it's not my show, so I wouldn't be talking about no fucking wide receivers, bro. About free agency. The thing is it's looking like we're not gonna get the two defensive guys that we really need on our team. So I don't understand why people don't believe in going young and building your own team through the damn draft. This is how teams get good. I'm not going after Higgins or nobody if Ted McMillan is going to fall to me. And that's like what is going to happen. Why am I going to go through all of this and spend up all my money for that? One guy's disgruntled with his team. The other guy shows up to have his games. And y'all want to put money into that?
So just to play devil's advocate here, Twan, the idea being you take care of the wide receivers in free agency, and then that leaves you the rest of the draft.
No, that's doing it backwards. Go get your own wide receiver. I'm not done.
Yeah,
if you're going to, okay, us going to go get Higgins or whatever, does that change us dramatically? Do we win a dramatic amount of games when you add him?
It depends on if T.
And you don't even know what if you might go draft the next Malik Neighbors in the draft.
But to that point, like if you have a guy that adds 10 to 12 sacks a year instead of a receiver that adds 1,000 yards, which one impacts the team more? And I would say the 11 sacks.
I'm only saying if we had to go offense in the draft. I want to, obviously I want to go heavy defense. But if Carter and the kid from Michigan aren't there, and then you have Chet fall to you, I'm not talking about no high dollar free agents when I could just go get my guy, and maybe my guy turns into whatever the hell we think these other wide receivers are, and build my own team, man. Carolina we've never understood how to build through the draft. We don't know how to do it. We're a team that don't win games regularly. They want everything to magically turn over the next day. We have no patience. We don't want to wait. I mean, I say this, and you got to understand me when I say this. Who in the fuck do we think we are? The audacity for some of us, bro. We're not good.
The only thing I say, though, Twan, is it looks a certain type of way. If our defense was that bad, and for the second year in a row, we're drafting a first-round wide receiver instead of drafting that defense that we need.
Only because that dude would fall to us.
I hear you. Let me welcome into the show my brother Anthony, back on the free for all. Ant, what's up, dude? You with me?
Yeah, boys. What's going on?
Doing good, brother. Chilling. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm just watching this game, actually.
I got the game up too, man. Checking this Ohio State. Man, go ahead.
We're talking about these receivers. I just want to say, I think the team's going in a good direction. I know Twan just said we're not good. I mean, I definitely don't think we're good. But Cody brought up, or someone brought up a point. Does a receiver like Garrett Wilson or T. Higgins change anything? Well, I'll tell you what. I could bet money that maybe Garrett Wilson doesn't drop that ball in Philly. Maybe he doesn't drop the ball on the sideline versus the Chiefs, or the red zone touchdown versus Tommy Tremble. Mm-hmm. So I think it changes a couple things. I think you can get better there. I've already people in our chat know I've already talked about Ted McMillan. I gave my insight on that. We have interest there, trust me, and I am positive that the team will go out and help Bryce Young. And it's not just because, we're trying to go backwards necessarily or not focus on defense. I just think it's like year 3 and your quarterback showed you that he can play in this league. And I think you're trying to get him to that next level. And quite honestly, I think we should trust Dan Morgan. I think he is going to allocate his resources towards the defense.
Me too.
I think if you
Dan Morgan got to give us reasons to trust him, though, man. We can't just trust everybody off the rip.
But I think
that keeps getting us in trouble.
I'm not being given a reason not to trust him.
Let me say
go
this
ahead.
real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say this. If you are in free agency and a good player will come to your team, like, just add good players, man. Like, Robert Hunt was so I would do the Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis signing every single day of the week, man. Like, just go out, and if you have to pay good players, pay good players. Like, I think a part of it too is the PTSD we had from Scott Fitter, where the trades we were making had no potential value on them, or we were giving up too much picks. But you got to realize, like, if we give up assets or we give out contracts to good players that are going to contribute and help this team, like, the linemen, move us from the 27th overall offensive line to PFF's 8th in one season, then I'm not upset about that.
That's what I'm saying, Twan. Like, that's why I don't mind giving Dan Morgan the benefit of the doubt. I didn't expect this team to be great this year, and the moves that he did make, I like. Lewis and Hunt, that is going to be an integral part of our offense moving forward, to be able to run the ball and to be able to pass protect, right? I didn't love every move that was made, but damn, I think Dan Morgan did a very good job in his first year. I want to see what him and Brant Tillis can do to build upon that. That said, I'm just going to trust him.
So why Carolina has a habit of trying to fix everybody else's team's players on our team, opposed to getting our own people. We always want to fix or take somebody from another team that doesn't come here and give us the same whatever they gave that other team. But we don't. We never talk about the fucking draft. We always want to look at the shiny pieces. Nobody at this point is going to come play for the Carolina Panthers because they want to. It's going to all be about the fucking money, bro. Or if they're hurt and nobody else is going to fuck with them. So I don't just try building through the draft. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with building through the draft?
90% of the time, when you take a normal 7, you have 7 players in a draft. 90% of the time. Sometimes you have more, sometimes you have less, depending on what you do. But you have 1 or 2 players in an entire draft class that show out in a given 2 years. So if the only way you're going to build a defense is through the draft, and only 1 or 2 of that class shows out, shit, Shazam, it's going to take you 5 years to get a good defense. If you're lucky and 2 of the 7 players show out.
Sometimes it takes that long.
Okay, well, yes, but if you're going to wait that long, by then the coach's contract's up. Everybody's contract's up, and you're starting all over again.
Canales ain't gonna be here forever.
My point of the matter is, you can build through the draft. That's a great thing, but it can't be the only way you do. My process is, why does this fan base so intellectually concentrate on building through? The only thing you want to do is add receivers. You add receiver every fucking year. If you go out and get T. Higgins and Garrett Wilson next year, you're going to make up another damn reason to get another stud receiver that's going to be available. And the year after that, you won't get another one.
All the wide receivers.
I guarantee it. The
concept, you got it. I mean, it's some positions when
he's upgraded is the concept that folks have was, if you put all these receivers out, we can outscore all these defenses.
No,
that's the most
that's not.
Pickle.
Wait, let
me finish something.
Anthony's been trying to respond. Now I'll let you go. Go ahead.
No, so I hear all these points, and I've been one of the guys telling our guys in our chat, in our community, build through the draft. But what Twan just brought up about like taking someone from another team and try and, you know, if they didn't work out there and trying to make it work here. But we're not talking about those type of players. That's what I just brought up with the PTSD thing from Scott Fitter. We are not – Garrett Wilson is not a Sam Darnold product where he's put little on film and you're trying to resurrect him into this type of quarterback. This is a dude that's come off 3 1,000-yard seasons with Zach Wilson and a old immobile Aaron Rodgers. Like,
yeah, he's not just anybody. He's the man.
Yeah, exactly. And like, dude, I've been doing mock drafts. Dude, I want a defensive stud. Like, I want us to draft defense. I don't want to go in these shootouts. Like, but I do think that right now our offense is proven, like, if we get a better defense and maybe just upgrade one receiver, one young guy to pair with Bryce for the future, like, I don't think that's a lot to ask, man. Like, I trust Dan can go into this draft, nail on the first round pick, and I'm pretty optimistic. Like, again, we were a couple plays away from an 8-9 season, and I think this fan base would have felt great about that in the first year of this new regime.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Twan. Then I'll introduce someone.
Man, I don't think I understand what I'm trying to say, man. You know, but I mean that's the beauty thing about a debate. It's all different opinions. But
I get what you're trying to say.
what I wanted to tell Pickle was this: you have to. It's certain positions in football where you have to constantly draft it over and over and over. Wide receiver is one of those positions. You should draft the wide receiver every year because somebody on the fucking team ain't gonna be good enough anymore, and you should. The thing with Carolina is we like to keep and hold on to players that ain't doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to draft a receiver every year. I told you early in the year, bro, you got to draft a quarterback every year until you get it right.
I think we should draft.
It's called depth. It's called depth.
4 receivers. I can name you 4 receivers in this draft that I like. Well,
okay, and I probably would agree with you. My thing is,
I'm telling you, only one of them receivers is a first round pick.
Okay.
90% of this fan base only concentrates on receivers in the first round. They do not want to or do not acknowledge a receiver in the later rounds will work just fine.
Well,
Even though they like to praise the Rams and all these other teams for developing these receivers, they don't want to acknowledge that they could draft a receiver in the later rounds. Click. People may forgot, but the best receiver the Panthers ever had was a 3rd round pick.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. Well, the thing I was gonna say is this though, like when you like it ain't recycling receivers, it's called picking until you develop. The thing about adding depth, which Carolina's not great at, is you always drafting the next man up. So that if whoever, I don't care who's on the team, if they don't work out, it could be a lineman, defense, whatever, then you got a guy that's right behind them, and we got horrible development coaches, you know what I'm saying? We know about our development. It's almost non-existent. But we can change that shit now. You got to have people always waiting who got next. You know what I'm saying? That's learning or whatever. I'm not going to put all this money into a free agent.
Well, I agree to that.
You got to study our history. If we look at our history and go, do we do well with this? No. It ain't gonna just change under Dan Morgan. We gotta earn our trust just like everybody else.
I hear that. Well, let me welcome somebody in the show to add into the convo from Black Cat Panther Podcast. You know him, it's popping back on the Free for All popping. What's popping?
What up, Pop?
How y'all doing? What up,
chilling, brother? How you doing, man?
Man, trying to stay warm. All this snow. Ooh.
I know, man. We in Charlotte. What the hell, man? What's with the snow, bro? But how do you feel about these wide receiver options? Is Garrett Wilson an option? Is T Higgins? I already know you don't like T, but what are we gonna do to upgrade this wide receiver position, if at all? Is Garrett Wilson in the cards? And would you trade seemingly whatever the Jets would want to go and get a wide receiver like Wilson?
I mean, Garrett Wilson will be great, but I don't think that we're willing to pay what the Jets is going to ask you for him. I mean, you're probably going to ask you for a first, and they're probably going to ask you this year's first.
They're going to want a lot.
which we need our first. So I'm kind of over the Garrett Wilson thing now. The T. Higgins, I never really wanted T. Higgins because I'm over the T. Higgins too because I never was on the T. Higgins train, but he already said that he want to stay where he's at because looking at all these bad quarterbacks out here, and he can look right, over to his right or left and look at Joe Burrow. He's like, nah, I think I'll stay here.
Take a pay cut and stay with Joe and compete for Super Bowls.
Yeah, and the only person I think that is what could be a shot is DK. You can have a shot against DK because he got 1 year, $31 million, and the next year $7 million, and his contract is over with. So I'm pretty sure he's looking for some money, and it's random. It's kind of random how they just brought DK out of nowhere. But I mean,
I wonder how much that money Seattle would be on the table for if DK did end up getting traded here. My thing is this: don't y'all want, like, again, some people don't even want to get a wide receiver like Twan. I understand, but aren't we trying to get a wide receiver that can do something a little bit different in terms of skill set? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like whether or not you believe in Xavier Liga, that's what they drafted him to be, the big, strong, jump ball wide receiver guy. So wouldn't you want to get someone that's more complimentary of that? Like, that's why I think Garrett Wilson would be a good player. But even DK
is 6'4", jumps out the gym, runs a 4.2, and you got Leggett, who's 6'2", probably 20 pounds lighter than him, and DK can take the top off. I haven't seen Leggett outrun anybody this year. I mean, I'm pretty sure that
one thing. Like,
it's going to take time for him to get experience. But if you're looking for a dog, like a dog who's going to be nasty, we haven't had one of those in a while. I think DK actually falls in that line right there. And
I'd agree with that.
Two physical wide receivers in the red zone. Who are you going to how are you going to stop that with Tavion Sanders, DK, Coker, or Leggett out there at the same time? Like,
I love that. A little ass quarterback and a bunch of big ass wide receivers.
Right.
That's what he needs.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let me go ahead, Anthony, real quick. Go ahead, Ant.
I was just gonna say, like, we need a red zone target. I feel like that's something we just need someone that we can rely on to throw a one-on-one fade to. And like I noticed that too. Like, Leggett looked fat. Like, his tape in college, he played fast, but I don't know, this year, like, he was slow for the NFL speed. I don't know. That was just something I missed in his pre-draft.
I agree.
evaluation.
It hasn't slowed down to him yet. Yeah.
I'm gonna say something when I'm agreeing with Pickle. And really, I really shouldn't be saying this because it sounds shallow of me, and it may be a little bit. But when you're not playing well, I don't want to see you posting squirrel videos and shit, man. I don't want to see you. I want to see you working on your craft. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you chopping up squirrels on the back of a truck, putting them on the goddamn grill. I don't care. I don't care about that shit. I'm from New York. I want to see what you're doing on the field and getting your game better.
I've seen stuff like that my whole life.
Let's play the video.
I grew up in West Virginia. I grew up hunting squirrels and throwing them on.
My people are from Louisiana.
I grew up. Like that.
I mean, he got the right to do what he want to do in his spare time. I'm just, I mean.
He's more happy.
I love him. I love the dude. I love his personality.
But what is he doing on the field, Cody?
Just because he's not.
What's up?
So because he's from the country.
Know what I'm talking about? Take the clothes off. That's step one. Show y'all the
Bro, I fucking love him, Pop. That's my dog.
That's funny as hell. See, Twan wants him to be from New York, where he's chasing rats in the subway.
I don't give a fuck if he's from. I wouldn't give a fuck if he was from Mexico. I don't give a shit. I wouldn't give a shit if he was from Mexico. I want to see his skills. No, but see, this is what we talked about. Me and Pickle talked about. A lot of y'all today, man, y'all care more about pop culture and not the actual sport. I don't give a fuck what he does in his spare time, bro.
I don't. And that's the thing I agree with Tom. I don't give a damn about
the
this.
man can't have a week off. And Twan already on his ass about him hunting squirrels.
You can't play the way you play. Look, I'll be like, at least I'm gonna wait to show these videos because I ain't played too great. I'm gonna wait.
Don't look at it, then, Twan. Don't look at it.
I've heard folks, and
he's a funny guy, man.
I love all my C3 guys, I do, but I've heard them talk about, oh, this athlete did this, and he's on this show, and he likes this, and he does. I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck what he does.
I'm a competitor, bro.
I mean, when he ain't on that field playing that ball, I don't give a damn what he's driving. I don't give a damn what he's eating. I don't give a rat's ass what his women or men look like. I don't give a shit about all that. I'm not out to follow his career and lust after it.
Everybody don't
play football. What
everybody? That's fair.
Them two goalposts, I don't give a damn.
But that's fair. Everybody ain't checking for what people doing on their social media. Everybody don't care. I'm not saying y'all are wrong to care. I'm just saying everybody don't fucking care
about it. I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong to care, and that's why some of my boys will get talking, and I'll just be quiet.
Cody said. Cody laughed, and Cody said, "That's my boy. That's my boy." But is he your boy? What he doing on the field? But is he your boy about what he doing on the field?
Just a little bit of time.
Was he your boy when he dropped that pass? Was he your guy there?
Hey, you know what?
Cody, you asked about DK Metcalf.
Hold on, Chuba Hubbard used to be dropping passes too, and that motherfucker learned how to catch the ball.
And he fixed it.
Yeah, he bought himself a jug machine, and he was on it.
It didn't take Chuba Hubbard no 5 years to get out of college.
How about this though? I'm confident that if my man can catch a squirrel that damn easy, he'll be able to catch some damn touchdown passes.
Hey, he said, Cody, we got the clothes off that boy.
Shit, it's easy to catch a squirrel with a gun.
I'm gonna play one more time.
You can't shoot that ball in the middle of a football.
I'm gonna play.
Bro, this shit's hilarious.
I mean, he's a funny dude, man. He's a funny dude, but damn.
All right, let's take it out one more time. Where's the volume? What the fuck? All right, come on.
Like, we really be faking when we say we do this. We done bust the squirrel out the tree and open them up. Come on. Take the clothes off. That's clothes off. I'm gonna show y'all the rest of what it is.
I love him, dude. I think he's the best. I love him.
He's superstar personality by far.
Yeah, man. Like, dude, come on.
By far.
Twan, give him a little bit of time, bro. I guarantee you everybody's going to be picking up what Xavier's putting down, man. He just needs some time.
Well, I mean,
he just needs some time.
Yeah, all the social media outlets, and I'm sure NFL Network ain't got a hold of this video. Somewhere down along the road, y'all know as well as I do, some animal rights group is going to pop off and go off.
They're going to be mad as hell. Peter on his ass
right now. This country stuff. Come on now.
Yeah, but you mentioned DK's contract. If the Seahawks was to trade him, it would more pre-June. Like, for example, when free agency opens or when they can, it's going to cost them $21 million in dead cap, and they'll only free up $10 million.
Oh, so they're probably not doing that.
What up, bro?
After June, they'll save $18 million, and they'll save 18 million, and they'll have 13 million in dead cap. They may do it after June, which would be after the draft type deal.
Yeah.
So that saves them $5 million as to pay in 11.
Right. So again, but it's like Corbett I wasn't into wanting to re-sign Corbett because I thought, well, he's 2 injuries back to back, waste of time. And Mike McKay brought up a good point the other day, and I was chatting with him about it. Austin Corbett's is costing $7.7 million on our cap next year, just in the Florida deal. If you sign him to a $3 million deal with the vet minimum, you scrap that whole $7 million deal. So we would actually, if you sign him to a vet minimum deal or maybe a $3 or $4 million deal for 1 year to compete, just to compete with K Mays, it actually saves you $7 million just because of that voided year.
Yeah,
so, I mean, there's details that Brandon Tillis will iron out, and that's why I say nothing would.
And DK is only 27 years old, so. I mean, I see a lot of hate on. I see a lot of hate on DK in the chat.
Wow.
Oh, I don't hate DK at all. I remember Pop when he came out. A lot of people.
He's definitely the best wide receiver on our team if he came.
Yeah, and he proved them all wrong.
So hold on. King Rook said he's lazy as fuck and that he takes plays off. That's just what King Rook says.
Jadeveon Clowney takes plays off. Shit.
Ryan used to do that, and I got hated for saying it.
You know you can take care of all this by just drafting your own fucking receiver.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody gonna have a problem with any receiver we bring up.
Come on, let me ask you: isn't that what you want to do in round one? You want a receiver with our top 10 pick?
Hell, I want defense, bro. But the guys that I want, I got a feeling they ain't not gonna be there, bro. I'll take Carter. Look, anybody that I want.
Twan Carter is.
Let me tell you what I got. Let me tell you what I got. One of my first 2 rounds. At this point, I got Tut if he falls us, and then I wish Kevin was on here because I've been really studying this dude lately. And once again, I know you ain't gonna like it, Cody, but my second pick, I'm going safety, man. I like that kid out of South Carolina, bro. That motherfucker is athletic. All he does is intercept the fucking ball. It just finds him all the time.
I'm tired of spending round one pick in South Carolina, man.
Kevin's head is big enough already.
He already has
South Carolina.
Half of the damn team is already.
That guy's he's that guy, bro. He's that fucking guy.
And
he's that guy
in the first round.
But listen, second round. But I do want Cody's. But I do want Cody's linebacker though. I want Cody's linebacker.
Which one? We got a couple.
The only one. You know which one.
All right. I like Jalen Walker. a linebacker out of Georgia. Okay, I like him.
I like him too. I like him too.
I like him too. Guy that they called.
And that's what I said. Kyle's idea, and I told him this the other day in the Legion chat, and I didn't get a lot of positive results from it. But I am starting to lean more to Kyle's idea of trading. Even if you trade now, if you're 1 or 2 guys or 3 or whoever, we're picking 8. So even if you have 5 guys on your to-do list and something happens and they're all 5 gone, then I wouldn't care to trade back 1 or 2 spots, get a couple extra picks somewhere, and then draft a guy. Because
get another
if you have a deep enough draft board, somebody is going to be good.
Yeah. Let me welcome into the show.
I like that kid. I'm Manwari, bro. Oh, that's my guy.
Yeah. Hang on. First, but let me get D's in. I'm gonna add somebody into the convo. D's talking about this team, man. Wide receiver. How much of a priority is it? Forget Wilson, Higgins, just draft in general, all the above. How high up is the wide receiver as a priority? Or do you more align with Pickle, who's saying Bryce was spreading the ball around? He did that okay. Make some minor upgrades and let them just kind of roll with spreading the ball around.
Well, first of all, I don't disagree with any of it. I think everybody was spitting facts. I think it's all good points, and the Panthers are going to do what the Panthers are going to do. We can all have our own opinions, and there's plenty of room in the conversation for all of them. So I agree with everything that was said, as a matter of fact. But for me, this relates to the conversation that we had before this. I think we've got a lame,
duck defensive coordinator. I think that defensive coordinator is on the way out the door. I think we're going to spend the beginning parts of the next season, those early games, especially look at the way we come out this year. We gave up a 50 burger to the Saints off the rip to start the season. We pull some stuff like that again next year. We're going to be back on the free for all. Talking about Evero needs to be fired. He needs to get up out of here. And with that being the case, that I see that as a possibility, Twan, because it's not like we're going to draft players and grab a couple of free agents and have a great defense. You don't go from the worst in NFL history to a pretty decent defense in no time. I don't see a quick turnaround here on a guy that last year's contract. So in that top 8, I love that Burton kid out of Iowa or Missouri, whatever it is. He is fast. He's able to take the top off the defense. He reminds me of a Jameson Williams. It's a guy that you haven't mentioned. I saw Josh mention him in the chat. I like that dude. I think he'd be a good addition to this offense. And of course, if Tet's there, grab Tet. I agree with that 100% because why waste a top 8 pick on a defensive coordinator? And then another thing about Jason Horn's just now making his first Pro Bowl on his 5th-year option. Evero has had him for how many years? 3? And just now he's getting a little bit of recognition. And the man only had 1 interception on top of that. And the same thing goes for Derek Brown. Derek Brown just made his first Pro Bowl last year. And he's been with the Evero for a few years. He had to get 110 tackles. He had 40 freaking pressures. And he only had, 1, 2, 3 sacks somewhere in there. He didn't have a lot of production. The guys are making the Pro Bowl without the production, Cody. The writing's on the wall. Top 8, go offense. I don't care. But you can't go defense if the talent's there. But we get a lame duck head coach on defense. That's all it is to it.
I hear you.
Amen.
Hey, shout out Red Swarm in the chat. Pull up, brother. Come on, you know we don't bite. Pull up. Ask that question, dog. But let me welcome somebody into the show. Jay Grizzly on the free for all. Jay, what up, dude?
Jay Grizz, what up, bro?
What up, dude, Twan? What's going on, man?
What's going on with you?
Jay, how you doing, brother?
All right, y'all. You know, I came to be the devil's advocate, right?
Come on with it.
First off, y'all ain't firing my defensive coach. Let's get that straight right there.
All right.
I'd like to, but they won't listen to me. So
you're a fan of Evero? You like Evero? You think he can?
Yeah, he like him.
Let's get this straight. Y'all was singing Evero's praises the year before last. Oh man,
we got to talk.
Wait a minute. You had a whole lot of fans singing the praise about what Evero was doing, regardless of why the stats look like the way they did. But what people fail to understand is we got rid of our whole damn defense. I mean, what you expect? We got rid of our whole defense. Everybody that you knew from previous years.
Did we get rid of all of them, or did some of them walk and say, I'm not fucking coming back?
Both.
All right, both. Say both.
It is both.
Both. Now, as far as trusting the process, I trust the GM. I'm gonna ask you this right here. Where did he miss on the draft this year?
Maybe Jonathan Brooks.
Damn, that was quiet. That wasn't no miss. That was an injury. Where did he miss this year on the draft?
I mean,
he missed
round 2. Remember, we might not see him play. We might not see
Jonathan
him
Brooks.
I call that a miss.
We might not see him play until
that motherfucker was injured. You don't pick up an injured player.
Yeah, I mean, we might not see him play through midway through his contract.
Now he came back too fast. With that injury, I'm gonna tell you like this. When he hit the field, everybody was like, damn, we got something. Me personally, I've had an ACL injury. I was like, he cutting too damn hard. I don't know who his surgeon is, but he back too early to be cutting like that.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to change his whole running style if he comes back. I'm gonna tell you that now. He's gonna have to change his whole style.
Yes, sir. Jay Grizz, what did I say all year though? I said, don't bring that boy back this year. It ain't necessary.
Yeah, he shouldn't have came back.
Just save him for when he good.
I mean, but let's be real though. Hindsight is 2020. A lot of people wanted to see that dude play. Now I agree that it was too early, but he was a second round pick. a lot of
Cody, because we are impatient. Because we are impatient.
I know it, but that's how we are. That's how it, the fan base is. Before we go any further,
And then y'all cry when they get hurt.
hold on, before we go any
Okay.
further, let me welcome somebody into the show. My man, he comes in here. He comes into the Panthers den, even though he's surrounded, but he does it anyway. Shout out to the homie, Red
What's happening?
Swarm in the building. Swarm, what up, bro? How about them? How about them dirty?
Goddamn Falcons.
Well, congratulations to the Carolina Panthers. Impressive win on Sunday.
Yes,
Looks
sir.
like y'all got your future quarterback, man. That's
Hey, Swarm, y'all get ready.
put it.
Swarm, y'all get ready for the playoffs, right?
Yeah, in 2020. Yeah, in 2025. In 2025, yeah, we are.
Well,
We are.
let me say this to you, Swarm.
I keep it real.
One, I think both of us have found our guy. I'm gonna be real. Dude, I was very impressed with Penix and Swarm. You know, I'm on record telling you before anyone that y'all did not make a mistake drafting Michael Penix when y'all drafted him, and you see your boy knows what he's talking about. All right, that's all I'm
give it
saying.
to you.
That's
I
all
give
I'm
it to
saying.
you.
Your boy knows how to look at these quarterbacks out here, bro. My question to you is, do you think this is going to be the next big rivalry in the NFC South? Bryce Young via Michael Penix? Come on, bro.
It is. And to that, Cody, we've been talking about this and I've been listening to the show, man.
Appreciate you.
You know, T. Higgins is not an old player. Garrett Wilson is definitely younger. But y'all have a young nucleus, just like we do. You have a young nucleus. And I think when you look at Bryce, you look at Chuba, you need to get that premier wide receiver. They call them triplets now in the NFL. There's actually a ranking that comes out for triplets. And you're going to need that receiver to go along with that running back quarterback tandem, man. So, you know, y'all could draft him. I think Tet, the kid's name, I think is what they call him, McMillan. Yeah, he's falling to around where y'all potentially, I don't know if New England will let him pass with Drake May.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably won't. But I mean, if you get a chance to get a Garrett Wilson and you draft him, I mean, if you got the resources to get a guy like that in free agency or make a trade and then draft that kid, hell, man, you can't give your quarterback too many weapons, man. That's just a fact. But yeah, Cody, to answer your question directly, yeah, man. And we've been saying this. I know that, you know, I've heard plenty of y'all say it. I know y'all have heard me say it. Cody, I know we've talked about it. That's the NFC South rivalry, man. I mean, Tampa's gonna have to replace Mike Evans at some point. They got a good looking running back. Baker is, you know, he's in his prime, but man, New Orleans is headed for it. Yeah.
Swarm, and don't Tet. I ain't saying he is. I just said for right now, don't Tet look like the next Mike Evans.
He looks damn good.
Well, actually, Twan, the comparison that I saw.
I'm saying catches and his body. You know what I'm saying? And the way that he plays. I'm talking about that.
I think he'll be very appealing to y'all's head coach, man.
Let me welcome Chuck back into the free for all. Go ahead, Chuck.
See how it's so good, feels so good that we don't have to worry about a quarterback and we can worry about other things that need to be worried about on the roster. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good to get back to the point?
It does feel good.
That's not a fact. That's not a fact.
Oh shit!
Okay,
right.
don't please.
How about this? How about
6
this?
touchdowns. Please don't do this.
How about this? We're not worried about quarterback in 2025. Is that fair to say?
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I was still draft for him. I was still draft for him. I'm sorry.
Wait. Time out. Go ahead, Poppin.
Bryce is competition, bro.
Everyone is competition on this team.
It's
Hold
fair
on,
to say
we're just talking. Go ahead, Pop.
It's fair to say we definitely know who our 2025 starting quarterback is. I will say that.
Okay, cool.
I'm not saying
I want to say something, Cody.
If he messes up in 2025, I'm with you. he's gone too. I'm with you. I'm with you.
But if he was to get hurt, who is coming in for him?
Joe Milton.
That's the facts. So okay. So
Cody, I love you.
Yeah.
Oh my
let me
God.
say my
I did a
Joe
mock
Milton.
draft.
Please go get him then.
And I traded for Joe Milton.
That's what y'all need to be worried about trading for.
Dude, I would love me some Joe Milton. But hold on, let me go to Pickle. Go ahead, Pickle.
So, okay.
I want to ask Panther fans. No, Red, you can answer this too. I just want to know something. Why are you so scared to death of drafting another quarterback other than Bryce Young?
I never said
The Patriots. I'm not talking just you. Okay. Don't. I hear this all the time. And on the average week, I'm probably in 5. No, probably not that many. Probably anywhere between 2 and 5 podcasters straddling out PPP and the others. And some of them I'm actually in, or some of them I'm just watching. And countless amount of people who are scared to death for the thought process of Panthers drafting a quarterback late. The Patriots last year drafted 2 quarterbacks. Okay, both of them look pretty good. The Washington one time drafted 2 quarterbacks. They traded up in the first round to spend a shitload to draft a guy in the first round that turned out to be worse than the guy in the second one. Now, or maybe I shouldn't say worse, but the second guy had a longer career. How's that? Maybe that's a bad way to say that.
Yeah.
Now, all that being said, the concept of scared to draft a quarterback is purely in the mental mind of the Panthers.
That's a stupid.
He ain't lying, man. He ain't lying. He ain't lying.
Your mental is hard.
Wait,
Yeah, you got to have a contingency plan.
But just to be clear, Pickle was talking about in the
Hey, Pickle, that was great. I'm glad you said that shit. That was great.
Later rounds, picking up a quarterback, maybe in the 5th or 6th, whatever, to have a backup to be able to.
They're petrified. Hey, Chuck, let me get on your ass, Chuck. You was cussing Bryce Young the fuck out when he was looking bad this year.
The first 2 games, first 2 games he was trash. He was stupid. You can't tell me. Can't tell me the first 2 games he played stupidly.
It was half the year, and he got good in them last 7 games or so.
Yeah, no, the first 2 games he was stupid. When he got back in, he slowly but surely earned my trust back.
Okay.
Yeah, after Deontay left.
Look. As Panthers fans, we got to be real. The one thing, Abdul Carter's not gonna be there, bro. He's not gonna be there. We all know that. Mason Graham's not gonna be there.
I don't know about that, Chuck.
Somebody going to be there.
Chuck, I don't know about
Somebody
that.
going to be there.
I think Mason.
Neither
Graham,
one of them dudes.
I think Mason Graham. It's very, very reasonable that Mason Graham could fall to 8. I do think so.
Well, okay, why do you look? I want to hear why you think that.
No, because look at some of the guys. You're talking to me, right? Yeah, some of the players that are going to be available in front of him. I just don't think that he's going to be a top 5 pick.
What?
Let me throw this out.
Mason Graham, not Abdul Carter. I'm talking Mason Graham. I don't necessarily know that Mason Graham is going to be a top 5 pick. If he's not, put him next to Derek Brown in a fucking heartbeat, bro.
Hey, Pickle, to your point. Pickle, to your point, those motherfuckers are petrified of getting Bryce Young some competition. They are. Petrified.
And even the Patriots last year, y'all know I'm a Tennessee fan. So I really looked at Joe Milton, and I wanted Joe Milton last year, but it was irrelevant to conversate about. So all that being said, when the Patriots drafted,
whoever has
never viewed it as competition.
Hold on, Pickle. Whoever has a TV going in the background, please turn it down or mute your microphone, please. Whoever.
Getting flagged for that, man. That's loud.
Anyway,
I don't know who it was. I'm just saying I'm hearing TV.
But when they drafted Milton, they never viewed him as competition to Drake May.
Right.
No.
They just viewed now I love what he said to the Patriot fans who were bawling him out because on Instagram because he went out there and showed out. And he was polite about it, a lot more politer than I would have been, but he told him, he said, listen, been on the bench all year. Y'all, if y'all was me and you had an opportunity, you come out and show everything you had, and he did.
Damn right.
And he showed out. And there's a strong likelihood, according to rumors, that there are teams inquiring with the.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
somebody is.
the Giants are rumored. The Giants are rumored because
Yeah,
with the news that
there's
came
some
out
other
about
teams.
the news that came out about Deshaun is that the Browns might have to draft a quarterback regardless, and then the Giants are going to be screwed. And their Giants are thinking about taking Travis Hunter or going quarterback. Their only option is JJ McCarthy or Joe Milton. So it might be a situation that Joe Milton may have.
What you mean, JJ McCarthy? JJ McCarthy ain't going nowhere.
What?
It's called backup, bro.
No. There's been rumors, Twan. There's rumors that are going on that they would trade.
It's called rumors. Somebody made it up.
That doesn't mean it's not possible because the guy hasn't played at all. And so if they have the capital to go get him, why wouldn't they? Because at the same time, you got to think about Minnesota.
Why would you play?
Are they going to sign Sam Darnold or not?
You
or
still
What? I don't understand the concept.
You still got to pay for it, bro.
If you're Minnesota, if I'm Minnesota,
Why would you?
I
Why
am
would you?
Minnesota, and I have in the realms of doing it because I don't know their cap. I ain't looked at it. I don't even know how much it would be. I'm keeping Sam for at least a year.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Why would you put it to an
there's
unproven
no
person?
guarantee
I
that guarantee that JJ McCarthy is going to be any good next year. He's
Darnold
basically a rookie.
signing a 1-year deal anyway.
That's a
He's
fact.
going to get
That's
his-
a fact.
He's finally
Pickle.
about
That's
to
a
get
fact.
his check. He's not.
Yeah, but let me ask y'all-
Sam Darnold's not
I'm
signing
gonna-
nowhere for 1 year.
Wait, hold on, time out. Let me ask y'all this: what are the chances that they do what Green Bay did? Sign.
That's
Sam
what I was about to
to,
say. Long settle with that
sign-
forever.
Sign Sam to a 2 year. Like right now,
But
they have
Cody,
no reason.
Sam is not going to go. Sam Darnold's not going to go for that. You would tell me.
Man, y'all ain't worried about other teams, bro.
Sam Darnold has been to multiple teams and failed on multiple teams.
Yeah, if they're going to
He's
pay
finally
him, why
found
would he not?
success for the
take
head coach in the organization that he knows, he likes, and trusts him. Why in the hell would he take opportunity to go somewhere else and fail?
With 15 fucking wins.
Wait, let me go. Wait. Chuck, let me go. Chuck and Red Swarm. Chuck, you want to answer that?
Yes, Pickle. Okay. I don't want to be Kirk Cousins all the time. 1 year. And if I fall flat on my ass, I'm out the league. I want to be secure. I want 3 years. I want at least a 2-year extension. I want security.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, but by the way, if they did that, they don't have to trade either of them. Keep Sam,
right,
and keep JJ,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
let him learn.
I thought you meant
They not letting JJ go, bro. They ain't letting JJ go.
It would be if I'm the owner. And
I wouldn't.
But hold on, it's up to
I
two
would
things,
fire
though.
my GM today.
But hold
Yeah,
on,
man, fuck that. Y'all ain't getting my guy.
But wait a minute, it's up to two things. How do the Vikings finish? How does Sam look in the playoffs going forward? And is there going to be another team that's willing to give up a boatload to grab JJ McCarthy from you? But the reason why I say that, some team might make you.
Who gonna do that? He ain't played it down.
So Cody,
We don't know. Go ahead,
so Cody,
let me go to Swarm. Hold on, time out.
Hold
on, time out. Let me go to Swarm. Go ahead, Swarm.
So this is my question first, and then I'm gonna make a statement. Is Sam Darnold under contract, or is he a free agent
He's a free
in the
agent.
offseason?
Free agent.
He's a free agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
if
not a
Minnesota
bad
can
problem to
re-sign
have.
him, if Minnesota can re-sign him, I think for them as an organization, their best two options for their team is to keep both of those players in-house. Number one, you're not going to get top value for JJ McCarthy coming off an injury in which he missed an entire season. That's just a fact. He's never played a down as a starting quarterback in the NFL, and added to that fact is that he has an injury which ended his season. That's risky for any team to put together a pack. If you think that's going to get them a first round pick, it's not. So secondly, Secondly, in order to see him play and see what he has, and to continue have a just some consistency with what they saw this season with Darnold and their head coach, yeah, you want to bring him back. But if they don't already have him under contract and he's going to hit free agency, of course they're not going to get rid of JJ McCarthy because they may not be able to outbid other teams for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, that's true, man. Dude, the Browns, like Chuck mentioned, the Browns might need another quarterback now that Deshaun faced another setback to his Achilles.
And they got
you know,
a
the
shitload
Giants,
of, they got a shitload of cap, man.
yeah,
Cleveland has a
Sam
shitload of money.
Sam Darnold is
Cody.
not going to no damn Browns.
all right.
So let me ask you a
So
question.
let me tell.
Let me ask you
Hold
a
on, Red.
question.
Somebody gotta go to
For the right,
Let me
for the
throw
right
this. Let me
money,
throw
you
this
will.
at
Go ahead, Pop.
Red.
Go
Let
ahead.
me throw this at y'all real quick. So think about it. Minnesota needs a quarterback. They have a backup quarterback right now. Well, who also needs a quarterback? The Raiders.
The Browns.
And the Raiders got
The
plenty of.
Giants.
The Browns ain't got money.
Browns,
Raiders
Giants.
got plenty of money.
I
And if
think you better
if
check them cap numbers. You better check them
I just
cap
looked at
numbers,
it,
Pop.
I just looked.
The Raiders got money.
How much does
No,
Cleveland have?
no. I said the Raiders have money.
No, I said how much does Cleveland have?
I didn't bring
The
up
Browns got some money too.
Cleveland has hold on. Cleveland has $44 million if Deshaun Watson does not play the 2025 season.
And he's not going to do
Deshaun
it.
Watson,
It's 48. It's 48 million.
yes.
So that's what,
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
okay.
How
That's
the
what I'm
hell do
saying.
they have more money than us?
So
It's
basically, they took an insurance. the
Because we
Browns took
spend
an
money very
insurance
stupidly.
policy out. The Browns took an insurance
But think
policy
about it.
out.
yeah,
But
they
think
do.
about it. If you're gonna go somewhere where you're probably gonna get several years plus you're gonna get paid, because Minnesota could say, "Oh yeah, we want to keep you and keep our backup plan with JJ McCarthy."
Yeah,
But at
that's
the same
smart
time,
for
you can
them.
go to Raiders. You go to Raiders. You have nobody in competition with you. They literally just need a quarterback, and they can get this thing rolling.
Sam Darnold could wind up right back in his original team with the Jets.
He's never going back to
if it
the
was
Jets.
Giants, if it was
Yeah, I can see Las Vegas pop.
Never
I can
going
see
to the
Las
Jets.
Vegas
I
pop.
think the teams that are going to be in the biggest
It's who
market
gonna throw the bag.
is going to be the
Yeah.
Giants and the Raiders that are really going to fucking pop it open
Let
and
me put it
shake
this
their
way.
ass for them.
In my
So
opinion,
look,
if Sam
go ahead,
Darnold
Pickle.
chases the bag over wins and losses with all the money he's already earned, he's just about as ignorant as you can be, and he deserves every fucking loss.
Well, Pickle, I'll be ignorant because he hasn't had that
I
big
want to get
bag
my
as
money.
an
He hasn't
NFL
made that
quarterback.
much money.
Yeah,
Pickle.
but let's
He
be
hasn't
real.
made that much
But
money.
let's be real. What kind of success is he going to find with the Raiders? The Raiders
don't
are
know.
a turn
Man.
ahead of the Browns.
We don't know, but
And-
one thing I know he have with the Raiders when he walks in the door is the best tight end in the NFL, potentially.
Well, yeah, but he's still the one thing though. Sam's had talent
One of.
in a lot of places he's been, but he's never had a quality offensive coordinator and head coach that'll play to his
Correct.
skill set.
Well,
There's
and
no
that's what I'm
guarantee
saying.
the Raiders will deliver that.
Sam Darnold
That's
gonna
what
get
I'm
the biggest
saying.
bag.
But I will tell you this too. Interesting to think about this. He'll have Tom Brady in the building. He'll have a new head coach that Tom Brady has helped in the selection process of, offensive coordinator that Tom Brady has had his hands all over, a team that has the second most amount of money in free agency to bring in a T. Higgins or whoever else the hell they want. Because contrary to what a lot of people
Yeah, you
think,
cooking, Red.
veterans who are looking
Talk
for the
to him.
bag don't go to
Goodbye.
teams that they want to play with other players with. They go with the team that offers them the highest contract. So
Yeah.
free
Yeah,
agency
man.
is all about outbidding
Yeah.
the next guy.
That's what I was
It's
gonna
all
say.
about outbidding.
He gone.
Go ahead.
He gonna get his biggest bag between the Giants or the Jets. Now I know y'all thinking money or whatever, but Swarm, you know where I'm going with this. Man, when you play for any fucking team in New York, it's just like playing in Dallas. It's all the other shit that comes with it playing in that damn state. But you gotta win. You gotta win. And he'll make all the money he
There's more
wants.
stories of failure coming out of New York than there
Yeah.
are success. It's
So let me
more
ask y'all
stories of failure than there are success. So
they've already burned bridges.
What
They've
you
already
hear
burned
about
bridges
New
with
York, what you
Sam
hear about
Darnold. Why
New
would he go
York
back
is
there?
that the media eats
there's
players
no
up.
way in hell that Sam is
He's
ever
going
going back to
So,
the Jets.
so Cody, this
If,
is
hold
How
on,
do y'all know this? How do y'all know this?
If you want to
Okay,
say that maybe
Y'all
he
ain't this
goes,
damn.
hold
Cody.
on. If you want to say that maybe he goes to the Giants, I would understand that. The Raiders,
Yeah.
I would understand that. One, he's gonna go to whoever pays him the fucking money. That's
How many
first
good?
and foremost.
How
That's
many
a
good
So
fact,
why
years
you?
Cody.
Sam Darnold
So
got
why you
under his belt?
canceling the Jets then? So why you canceling the Jets?
Why would
If
they
the
go
Jets
Because the
got
Jets
my
is
money,
ranked number
that's where I'm
20.
going.
The
If the
Jets is
Jets
ranked
got my
number
money,
20
that's
at
where I'm
salary
going.
cap.
There's no
Sorry,
way
you
they're
hear me?
going back to Sam
They're
Darnold.
ranked
How many
number
good seasons
20
does Sam Darnold
at
have under his
money.
belt?
Tell him again, Pop. Twan, do you hear what Pop said?
What?
They're ranked number 20 as far as money. How they got the most money? They're ranked number
I
20.
didn't say that. I didn't say I had the most money. I said whoever got my money is where I'm going.
But you said the Jets. You keep trying to push this Jets thing, and it's not
Yeah,
going to
the Jets
happen.
ain't going.
You said
But
money,
no,
and
Even
but no,
okay.
I'm saying that because y'all keep saying it's no way he's going back to the Jets. I'm like, y'all ain't his agent. How
he's
y'all
not
know he
going
ain't
back
going
to
back to the Jets?
Okay.
And
All
Sam
I'm saying
Darnold had
is,
one
You want to
good
make a
year.
bet on it?
Y'all ready to give him the
I'll
bag.
bet it.
all I know is
Yeah,
all
they
I know
gonna.
is
He's going to ask for the bag. It's
all I
not
know
That's
is
the way it
we
works,
ain't
though,
going to do
bro.
this.
Yeah,
all I'm
bro.
saying
That's
is
the
If
way
you
it
now
get
works.
14
Disney
And
wins,
that's
One at
Disney
that's
you
what I'm
can
trying
have
to
to the back.
one at a time. One at a
that's what
time.
I'm trying to that's what I'm trying to tell you. The man had one good season. I'm not a GM, but
So
you're
has
not
Kirk
gonna sit
Cousins.
here. You're not gonna sit here and make me think that these GMs don't remember that this man been garbage for years. Like they don't understand what type of team and what type of coaching that he had around him.
He was playing with
So
bad teams, bro.
nah.
Yes, he was playing with bad teams, Grizz.
Nah. You can't chalk that up to bad teams. You can't chalk
Well, we
every
were.
season up to bad
Well,
teams.
we were a
You
bad
can't.
team.
Okay, well we'll take that.
And
But
the Jets damn sure
if he
was.
was so good, why did San Fran let him go?
Let me ask you a
That was their
question, Cody.
fault.
Let me ask you a question,
Oh
Cody.
man,
Hey Grizz, let me ask you a question.
Right,
In
go
all
ahead.
seriousness, be honest about it. Have you watched a complete Minnesota Vikings? And I want the honesty. Have you watched a
Yes.
complete 60-minute Minnesota Vikings game this season?
Yeah, I watched them and the Lions. I watched them and
No, I have.
I watched them and the Lions. I watched them
um
and the Packers. I watched it when they played the Rams. They
I know
lost to
where
the
you're going with
Rams.
this. I know where you're going with this.
I
JJ,
watched it and I saw him smoke my team. And what I'm trying to tell you is, yes, KOC is one of the top offensive play callers in the NFL. But if you think that Sam Darnold is only benefiting because he's in that system, I'm sorry, you need to go watch some of those games, man.
He's not. He doing it himself, bro.
he been slinging it.
okay.
He been
And by
slinging
the
it.
He's
way,
slinging. That
now,
motherfucker slinging that shit, bro.
but you're seeing why he was a third overall pick in the draft. The dude's big. He has a big arm. He can move. Like physically, he's comparable to Joe Burrow. Not
To be
saying he's Joe Burrow, but
I
I'm
would
saying,
say that too, Cody. Moving
yeah,
with the ball, escaping pressure. He looks
yeah,
good. He looks really comfortable. And he don't look skittish. I watched him before. He looked skittish. He looked uncertain. Listen, the winning cures a lot of shit.
It
And
does.
he has won a hell of a lot of games this year. And he has looked good in this offense. Now, will it translate somewhere else? Well, that's what a GM, like you said, is going to take a risk on. But what the
And that's
dude has
why.
put on tape this year, yeah.
Listen to this, man. This also proves something that the NFL is never going to understand, bro. Sam Darnold not being good with the Jets, blah, blah, when he comes in, it only further continues to prove why you don't put guys out on the field in their first year.
Yes, that is exactly right.
Twan. Every quarterback coming into the NFL is not ready to start week one, but you can't tell me that CJ
Rex,
Stroud
wait,
and Jaden
Rex,
Daniels, it was a
Swarm.
mistake and they
They
should have been
are.
put on the bench.
That's
okay,
anomaly. That's a
okay,
fucking
Swarm.
anomaly.
But can you
I
Bo
know
Nix.
It's kind of
Can I
not
go,
because Bo
please?
Nix.
Wait, hold on, one
Yeah.
at a
And
time.
Jaden Daniels.
One at a
Can you
time. Hold
Red
on,
Swarm,
hold
can I
on.
ask you a question?
Wait, hold on. Time out. We're gonna go Chuck and then Pickle. Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Explain
sir.
the Packers phenomenon. They've been having the franchise quarterback for 30 years because they sit
Yep.
their quarterbacks. They sit their
Well,
quarterbacks.
I wouldn't necessarily agree it's because they sit their quarterbacks. It's because the time that they select their backup, their next quarterback, is in time for them to learn behind a winning quarterback. Their quarterbacks have never come in a situation where they were the worst team in the league. They never had to start day one as the worst team in the league.
Hey, trivia question: Who was Green Bay's quarterback before Favre? I bet y'all can't.
Yeah, because the only thing you hear about is the one that they've had for the last 40 years. And they've only had three for the last 40 years.
Quarterback for 30 years.
I forgot, Twan. I know that.
Who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback before Favre? Somebody Googling their ass off right
But
now.
it was a trivia question, like you said.
Ask me that again. What was the question?
Who was the quarterback before Favre? They've only had 3 since.
Oh yeah, I have no fucking idea. I ain't even gonna pretend I know that shit. No, I couldn't tell you. But by the way,
I like that too.
Hold on, the Green Bay Packers. No one has ever had as few of quarterbacks in the past 40 or 50 years than the Packers. Like they went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Now they're on Jordan Love. Like that's 3 quarterbacks in 50 years or some bullshit like that. That's insane, man.
Yeah. And a lot of luck involved in it too, Cody, because if either one of their starters had a catastrophic injury that ended their career, say like with what's my man name who was with the Chiefs that hurt his leg up, fucked up real bad.
RG3.
I always liked Alex Smith, man. I always liked him. But if he was in his prime, say that Brett Favre was in his prime before Aaron Rodgers got there, well, they probably would have seen some rough years because they didn't have a plan at that point in time. So it's a lot of luck involved in those 3 lasting 40 years too. And it might be running out with Jordan Love because he keeps getting these little knick-knack injuries.
Hey, show the chat to see if anybody got it right, man. It's Don Mikowski, in case anybody wanted to know.
Nope.
But we got your point, though. That's what Cody said. That's what Cody said. I mean, shit. I knew it at one point in time, but it is just a trivia question.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the dude, faintly, but
yeah,
the players cut.
let me let Pickle. Let me let Pickle, and I'm gonna say something. Go ahead, Pickle.
The Packers are an anomaly because
that's an anomaly.
Also need to remember, the Packers draft a quarterback 2 or 3 years, and they have to kick out because they kicked Brett Favre out.
Yep.
He wouldn't retire. They kicked his ass out. They kicked Aaron Rodgers out because
damn sure did, Pickle. Damn sure did.
I mean,
Diesel Skills got it right.
You can't really count. The Packers do what other teams won't do. They'll draft a quarterback in the middle of a quarterback getting older and say, we're just going to hang on to him for a couple years and see what happens. No other team has the balls to, no other owner or group, and that's a problem. That's a lot to do with the issue. The Packers don't have an owner
because the Packers don't have an owner.
That.
You know I was gonna say this, Poppy. Cody, you knew I was gonna raise my hand in the classroom, in the back of the classroom, when Pickle said no other team had the balls to do it. My team did this year.
Yeah,
it failed miserably. It failed miserably.
That's true. They tried to do that. Well, no. Let me defend Swarm, bro. And I
Thank you, Cody.
Everybody was
let me respond back, Cody.
All over Atlanta. I'll let you respond. Look, what I'm saying though is that even though Kirk Cousins got fucked up and hurt, which I could have foreseen that happening, but they had the intention of letting Penix sit under Kirk Cousins for the next 2 to 3 years. That was their plan. Green Bay has displayed to everyone in the NFL how to build around a quarterback. Do not rush them in. Look how many young quarterbacks get forced into playing football, and they just don't look like shit.
They never turn out to be shit. Yeah.
But the Green Bay Packers have really taken their time and they wanted to let Jordan Love learn behind Aaron Rodgers, and that is what the Falcons intended to do. It didn't work that way, but that is what they intended.
That was not for me. I don't think that what they intended to do.
I never one time disrespected the Falcons for doing that.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm saying
Cody.
And they drafted the quarterback.
That's how it's supposed to be done.
Roster,
Yeah.
and I said that's what they play. Just like I don't think it's 100% guaranteed that Kirk Cousins stays on the Atlanta roster next year.
No, they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him.
I thought he was going to the
Whatever they
Browns.
can get. For whatever they can get, they're going to trade him.
He has a trading clause.
We know. We know.
But Aaron, more than likely, Cousins ain't going to want to sit there if he knows he has an opportunity to start somewhere.
Yes, and that's it. And they're gonna ask him to waive it so that they can get a deal for him. But hopefully, they can get it with a team that he wants to go to, so that they don't have to ask him to waive it.
Might be the Browns.
My theory
Could be.
is what the
Go ahead,
Falcons.
Chuck.
My theory, what the Falcons did is they signed Kirk Cousins sight unseen. When they saw him in minicamp and saw he couldn't move, they was like, "Oh shit, let's draft a quarterback." They knew they wanted to be, in a sense, pay Kirk Cousins. And Penix like 25 years old. By the time this
respond when Chuck gets done. Can I please respond when Chuck gets done?
Yeah, of course. We're talking about your team. Go ahead, Chuck.
Man, that age shit don't matter.
Were you done, Chuck?
So Chuck is 24. He's 24. And they had not seen Kirk Cousins on the practice field when they drafted their quarterback, Michael Penix.
Correct. When they signed it, so they gave him money sight unseen for Kirk Cousins. They gave him all that money sight unseen. They saw him in practice.
But you just said when they saw him, he was worse off than they knew he was. And I'm telling you that didn't happen because they were already cited for tampering with him. They had his medicals. Their plan was, regardless of what you say, if Kirk works out, great. Let's see what Kirk can give us. And if he doesn't, we need to have a backup plan for him no matter what, because he's 36 years old. And so that you know this, Chuck, also, and what has come out here locally in the reporting is that they felt two things. Number one, we're going to win with Kirk Cousins, so we won't be picking number 8 in the draft again. The quarterback class next year coming out is nowhere near as good as the year that Penix came out. Penix would be the number 1 pick coming out this year.
Yeah,
so they wouldn't have been able to get a Michael Penix in this year's draft.
Correct.
And they don't plan to be picking again in 2025.
Correct.
So if it wouldn't have been Penix, it would have been Bo Nix. They would have taken somebody else.
Yeah.
The other point I wanted to make about those quarterbacks is this too: is when was the last time a quarterback that was drafted in the first round won a Super Bowl? I'll wait.
In the first
round, won a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes.
No, Pat Mahomes didn't get picked in the first round.
Yeah,
yes, he did.
He did. 10th pick overall.
Yeah, because Kansas City traded up to get him.
Yeah,
they traded up. They traded up. They're right. But besides him,
in the first.
Yeah, besides him, it was the Mannings, bro. And before then, yeah, he was before them.
No, he wasn't.
Hang on.
I said the last. I said the last.
You said Manning brothers.
Wait. You said first round pick. Wait, but you're saying first round picks. So
first round pick.
Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. He was a first round pick.
Hey, Cody. It's easier to answer this question because that's always a loaded question when you start to talk about quarterbacks and Super Bowls. Watch this and see how funny this is. Twan, when was the last time a quarterback?
It was very few. It was very.
When was the last time a quarterback not selected in the first round won a Super Bowl?
Not selected?
Tom Brady. And he won them all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a loaded question. And because you're trying to say you don't have to have a quarterback drafted in the first round to win a Super Bowl. Well, I would say if you don't have Tom Brady, you're not going to win 50% of the Super Bowls in the last fucking 15 years. And then you can name the other 4 or 5 on one hand.
My thing is
That's not a good argument. You got the Mannings, their first round picks. You got
my
Roethlisberger.
thing
You
is
got
this.
Matt Stafford. You got Patrick Mahomes. Who outside of those have won a Super Bowl?
Nobody. That's it. That's my point.
Rounders. So what are you saying, Twan?
That's because you think you go out there and get a first rounder quarterback. Don't mean he gonna win no damn Super Bowl.
So
They wind up going to bad teams.
Let me ask you this. Outside of Tom Brady is not a part of this discussion.
See, I think you think I'm coming for your guy.
I'm asking the panel. I'm asking the panel. Tom Brady can't be your answer. Who would you rather have? The pool or those 5 quarterbacks that I just named you with your chance to win a Super Bowl?
Say the names again. Say them all.
The Mannings, Ben Roethlisberger, Patrick Mahomes, and Matthew Stafford.
I think you think I'm coming after your. I think you think I'm coming after your quarterback. I'm not upset about what y'all did.
It's not personal.
I think y'all did hold up. I think y'all did the right thing. But I'm saying, like, you got to go get a quarterback and season that dude before you go. Like, y'all did it the right way, as opposed to just going and getting the guy and throwing his ass out there. Green Bay is proving it works. Other teams are proving that it shit works. Shit. I'm not gonna go back with the Bryce shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he's starting to look different. But he looked different in year 2, and when he got some pressure put on his ass, and when he was on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't the way that you generally want a quarterback to come to his genius, by putting him on a hot seat.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. I feel like
it would have been no problem for that man to sit.
I'm saying you can find an example for every team doing all the different things that you can account for.
I'll give you
either waiting to play the quarterback, drafting one late, or drafting one in the first round. All these dudes are different. That's why I say you can't ever draft a helmet, right? Remember, just a few years ago, you weren't allowed to draft.
That's what I'm trying to say right there.
You weren't allowed to draft any quarterback from Ohio State. And then here comes CJ Stroud. Originally, it was Oregon. Here comes Justin Herbert. You have to evaluate the talent of the player that you're looking at on field, which, by the way, just being real, which is why I did like Michael Penix coming through the draft. Throws to every level of the field, is tall. I'm just happy that we're going to have a good rivalry.
Me too, Cody.
NFC South, man. Like, that's fun, man. These games need to be fun again, man. They need to mean something. They need to be for the division in the next couple of years when we're playing. You know what I mean?
Cody,
like, that needs to be what we need. Yeah.
Cody, can I use your statement now of having a division rivalry? You brought it back to the division, a rivalry here with our 2 teams, to segue into the question that I asked when you told me to come on to the show.
Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are y'all's thoughts on it, man?
I don't want no damn rivalry. I want to win.
So
set it up for us, Cody. Set it up for us.
So they're saying that there's a couple teams that are eligible for Hard Knocks this year. And the Panthers
to be on 4.
Yeah, there's 4. Who is it, Swarm? It's the Panthers.
It's us, Seattle, and damn, I had it caught. I think it might be who got the #1 overall pick? The Titans?
Yeah, Tennessee.
It's the Tennessee because that's what they were saying that might be appealing for them. Yep.
Yeah. How about this? I'm gonna go around and get everyone's opinion on this.
That shit is for dysfunctional teams.
How about this? Me personally, I don't really care. Like, I would love to see it, having the inside access and seeing the dynamic. Like, that's probably the reason I would want to see it the most, is actually understanding the dynamic in the locker room and how people get along with one another, and just, the evolution of our coaching staff from year 1 to year 2. However, I understand if you're the team, no team ever wants to be on Hard Knock.
They don't.
They feel like they're giving away all their trade secrets and shit. Yeah. So I understand why people wouldn't want to do it. Let me go to D's. D's, what do you think about Hard Knocks? And then I'm gonna introduce someone into the show.
Skills.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it goes back to the defense, right? So do we really trust Dan Morgan to build a total defense in one off season? I mean, that's a tall task.
No.
That's not really fair to Dan Morgan in just a second year. Like, all right, let's say things worked out better last offseason. Let's say we got Patrick Queen and we got Frankie Louvu. Okay, you take the worst defense in the history of the NFL. How much better would we have really been if we had landed those two free agents? It wouldn't have made that much of a difference. Even if you had put Derek Brown in there, okay, maybe we would have had two Pro Bowlers, maybe even 3 Pro Bowlers. But would that defense have kept us from losing as many games as we did? Probably not. If you look at the year before, only 2 wins. We were still last in turnovers. We were still last in red zone defense. We were still last in giving up rushing touchdowns, and it followed up by the same thing kind of this year as well. So, yeah, let's do Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks. I will watch the mess out of it. It'll be freaking awesome. I will love all the backstage and inside stuff on the Panthers. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, man, that's kind of where I'm at. Let me welcome in my man Edge to the Friday Free for All. Edge, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Doing good.
What up,
How you doing?
Edge?
Not much. Hey, look, I don't want to be on Hard Knocks because I already got embarrassed and disappointed by the blueprint when we got freaking Young. So yeah, no Hard Knocks for me. No more blueprints for me. Only time I want to see our team on TV is when we actually playing the game. I don't want to see no overhyped and very, very under-delivered type shit. Shout out to the Carolina PR team for doing that though, man. They hyped the shit out of it. They amped it up the way they need to amp it up. They got everybody excited, and it just crashed and burned downhill. So no more blueprints for me. No Carolina Hard Knocks for me. Ain't checking none of that. I'm only gonna be here quick, but I got about like 7 to 8 more minutes. I had to catch the game. So I had to catch my Texas Longhorns trying to make a comeback.
I know you
to get the national championship. But for me, this is what I'm saying right now. If Garrett Wilson come here, hey, I'm cool with that. T. Higgins, I do not believe he's going to come here because he's too injury prone. All right, and he needs a number 2 guy. So him staying in Cincinnati is probably the best opportunity for him. Garrett Wilson might be here, but here's also another thing though. We need to eat up a lot on this defense for the draft. So watching some of these analysts, quote unquote analysts, I'm putting air quotes on that. You guys know who I'm talking about. Saying that we should go after Will Johnson, a cornerback, as our first pick. No. The DBs were not a problem. It was the trenches that were the problem. It was the line that was the major problem of why we gave up the most points in NFL history. So yeah, Will Johnson, no, I'm good.
Fuck
and
no.
Plus we gotta figure out if we're gonna pay freaking play Horn or not and keep Mike Jack. So trenches is where we need to rebuild at first before we talk about anything dealing with the DBs and receiver.
Yo, that noise is not me.
And receiver wise, if you're gonna get a receiver, don't break the bank. If you're gonna get a receiver, don't break the bank.
Okay.
All right. And that's literally all I'm saying about that. I do like the rivalry with Michael Penix coming to Atlanta and everything like that. Can Young, with this last game, with Young versus Penix, can that be sustained for overtime? Yes. But, and here's a huge but on this, which defense is going to come up first and actually make some plays? Is it going to be our defense? Again, is it going to be our defense or is it going to be Atlanta's defense? We don't know. Atlanta, they need a lot of trenches work as well. I mean, like Red, and you already said it, Red. You have to get somebody to come in right after Grady Jarrett, man. You have to get somebody because he's a great guy. He's just getting up there in age, man. I mean, you got to. When he falls, everything else is going to be right down the middle with it. So you got to start looking at your replacement for him really, really soon, this draft or the next draft, possibly this draft. Hey, We never know. Alfred Collins, if he doesn't come to Carolina to bolster up our defensive line, Alfred Collins might be going to Atlanta to bolster up that defensive line. You never know. Or Deion Walker, same bet. That's what I see. That's what I predict.
And by the way, Atlanta already has the heir apparent.
We did that last year.
Yeah. Great Jerry. His name is Rook Ororo.
It's Rook Ororo.
Sounded just like a Scooby Doo trying to tell you who the bad guy is.
Well, guess what? That guy's gonna be a bad guy and all over the goddamn freaking offense, man. That kid is good. I watched some tape on him. I watched him in a few games. Hey, you got a good one. You got a good one. Keep him.
He's good, man. He's good. He just needs someone to build around what he does well. Has the same body type as Grady Jarrett, almost identical.
Almost identical. He's an inch taller. Well, 2 inches taller than Grady. Rook has got nice height because he's 6'4", man. He's got some wheels.
He's bigger than you think. He's aggressive too, man. He doesn't give much ground when being pressed. But nah, man, listen, we're coming around to the end of the show here, and there's no Panther football to predict. So we might as well talk about these wild card games, gentlemen, and talk about them a little bit, and we'll make our predictions before we get on that part of the show tonight. I appreciate everybody, as always, making the free for all what it is. Yeah, man, you already know I appreciate y'all. Let's talk about these wild card matchups, boys. How about the Denver Broncos back in the playoffs for the first time since 2015 when they won the Super Bowl? They are facing Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, boys. Who y'all taking in the wild card round this Saturday?
Yeah, go ahead and give me Buffalo, man. But Buffalo has a lot to prove. A lot to prove.
Dude, if Buffalo doesn't make their run this year, like there are two teams I feel like this is their year, and if they don't make it this year, I don't know if they ever will. It's the Bills and the Ravens. If those teams don't fucking shit and get off the pot, they might never do it. Straight up, they might never, man. So
what I gotta say to Denver is, congratulations, you made the playoffs. I'm sorry that you drew the Bills. One and done.
Yeah.
Hey, I hate the Broncos, so fuck them. Straight up, bad memories with the Broncos all the way around.
Sean Payton too.
Yeah, man.
I just say Sean Payton.
Me too.
I hate Sean Payton and I hate the fucking Denver Broncos, so fuck them. All right, man. Pittsburgh lost 4 in a row to end the season. I believe they're the first team to do that since 1990 versus the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Who y'all picking? Wait, nobody was picking Denver, right? Was anybody picking Denver? No, that's what I thought. Okay. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. These are skills. Who you picking, bro?
Man, I didn't know that. What you said, I didn't realize that they lost 4 games to end the season. I guess the magic is gone there in Pittsburgh. And Russell Wilson. Yeah. Curious to see if he'll be back next season. And definitely Josh Allen, runner up for MVP. Lamar Jackson has won another MVP this year again, 3rd time, guys. So I'm going to have to go with the Baltimore Ravens at home against the Steelers.
Yeah, I think so too, man. We're going with the Ravens. I just don't think that team offensively is prepared to go into Baltimore with dude, Pickens has dropped like 5 passes in a row or something like that, man. So yeah, that's rough. Twan, you picking Baltimore?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm with the Ravens too, man.
Everybody's picking Baltimore. Now this is a fun one because to me this is the real matchup in the AFC and a wild card where we don't really know, what to expect. The Los Angeles Chargers with Harbaugh, with the first year back in the NFL, Jay Herbo as his quarterback versus CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. By the way, the Houston Texans are like the worst 3rd down team in all the NFL. And it's because they're so bad on 1st and 2nd. They're constantly having to play from 3rd down that their offense is taking a major step back. They don't have Nico Collins. They don't have Stephon Diggs. For those reasons, I think that Ladd McConkey, Justin Herbert, and Harbaugh are going to roll over the Houston Texans. In Houston, I got the Chargers.
I'm with you, Cody. Don't forget, we almost signed their offensive coordinator. He was in the mix to be our head coach. I'm thankful now that didn't happen and we went the direction we did. I'm with you on this one. Panther Pickle talked a lot of trash about Greg Roman and his offense, but to me, it's looked mighty fine over there with the Chargers. I'm with you, Chargers over Texans.
Yeah, I think so too, man. Justin Herbert's playing great football, showing why he's the top quarterback. Edge, what say you, bro? Chiefs. I mean, not Chiefs. Chargers versus Texans in Houston.
Oh, I'm taking Houston, bro.
Damn, Houston. All right, why? Why?
I don't know, man. Like something is nagging me, telling me to take Houston. Like everybody's. I get with the Chargers. I get it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like after the last debacle that the Chargers had when they went up against Jacksonville and then blew it, that still is sitting there lingering for me, just a little bit, a little
right.
bit.
No, you're not
Just a
wrong
little
too. They were. That was an embarrassing playoff performance by the Chargers when they choked away that W to the Jaguars. Swarm, what say you, Texans or Chargers?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Houston in this one, man. I think this is the type of game. This is probably the most evenly matched of all the games. If you ask me, definitely on the AFC side. NFC is a little bit different story with some of those matchups. But I think this is one of those games that a guy can establish himself and his legacy. And I think both these quarterbacks have an opportunity to do this in this game against each other, to see if they can take another step and meet Kansas City in the next round. I honestly, a little bit like Edge, maybe call it gut, but I just think CJ Stroud has that sort of mentality that he'll show a bit of moxie and find whoever he has to find. It might be the old Dallas Cowboy tight end that he relies upon quite a bit in this because, Cody, you're right. He's way down on his receivers. I think this is going to be a much lower scoring game than people expect it to be. I don't think it's going to be an offensive shootout from these quarterbacks, but it'll come down to the team that does just a little bit more than the other team offensively. And I'm going to take the Texans.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. To me, it seems like the NFC is more competitive in the playoffs than some of these matchups in the AFC. I definitely agree with that. Go ahead, Edge.
Hey, Cody. Hey, look, I'm gonna hop out. I'm gonna hop off. Texas.
I feel you, brother.
Texas back up.
Hey,
look,
they back on.
I got Philly against Green Bay. I got Washington beating the Bucks, and I got Minnesota going against Detroit. I got Detroit beating Minnesota. I got Philly beating Washington. I have Kansas City beating Houston, and then I also got Baltimore beating the Bills.
All right.
And that's what I got for my Final Four. For next week, I give you the Final Four. Who's going to go to the Super Bowl after that?
All right,
See y'all
cool.
later.
I appreciate you, Edge. Hey, hook 'em, brother.
Okay, Edge, good luck to your boys, man.
We need it, bro.
Yeah, I got Notre Dame in Texas in the championship, brother. So good luck, man.
Hook 'em.
Texas ain't winning tonight.
All right, later, brother.
And they gonna have the SEC in there some kind of way, Twan.
All right, man. So yeah, let's go over to the NFC, boys. Packers and Philly. Is there anyone taking the Packers?
Cody ain't asking me shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought you read out. My fault.
I didn't say shit.
Hey, it's been a long day, Twan. Chargers and Texans.
And Chargers. I made bets. I made these picks like as if I'm betting my money.
Yeah.
So you serious about that shit, huh, Twan?
Look, y'all trying to do the cute shit. I make these bets based on if I'm betting for real.
The Chargers are top down a better team, I think.
Taking the fucking Chargers. That's what I put my money
Yeah,
on.
I think overall they are clearly. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
All right, come on, start us off in the NFC since I skipped you. Green Bay or Philly?
I think Green Bay. I'm shocked in motherfuckers, bro. I don't like the. I'm tell you why, because look, I don't trust Jason Hurts quarterback play, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the fact that we almost got at him too, I think that same shit can rear its ugly head, and it can't rear its head against a team like Green Bay, man. I got Green Bay, and I would really put my money on Green Bay.
All right.
Isn't their starter their number one wide receiver? Didn't he tear his ACL or something like that?
Yeah, Justin Watson.
But they got good depth.
Yeah.
James Watson. I don't know.
Yeah, Watson.
Yeah, it's something Watson. Yeah, he's out.
Philadelphia, like they didn't even get along with each other this year.
But hold on, Jalen Hurts also hasn't been cleared to play yet, though, right?
No,
I heard today they took him off of the protocol, Cody.
Yeah, he's clear. He's clear.
Oh, so he is. All right, clear. Yeah. If Jalen Hurts is playing, then yeah, give me Philly over Green Bay.
That's both too. I know you got to speed up and get us out of here.
No,
I'm taking the Eagles.
You're taking the Eagles? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if Saquon could still fight for the MVP, but I don't know. I doubt it. It depends on how far they go.
That's a dark horse in here to me. Yeah, it's Saquon Barkley in this matchup, Cody. He could really go off and take over this game. That's very much possible. But for me, for several weeks, for a month or so now, I feel like the way Green Bay has looked. And let me tell you why. It's because the NFC North, in my opinion, is the best division in football. And it has been all season long. That division has been absolutely killing it. They beat each other up each and every game. And I trust the Green Bay Packers. Do I trust them to go in Philly and win with a beat-up Jordan Love? Because there was reports of him having injury problems as well, along with Watson out. Probably not. But Green Bay looked fantastic in the playoffs last year. Those guys really performed, and I trust their chances this week against Philly. And I'm not like Twan Don. I'm not telling you where to put your money. You put your money where your heart is. But for me, I'm picking the Packers and Jordan Love over Philly, just like the Panthers almost defeated Philly.
Almost got them.
On the road. We almost did it, and I think Jordan Love can do it too.
Man, a lot of belief in the Packers here. Hey, I can see it too. To me, the Eagles are one of those teams that there's a certain scenarios you can't trust them in. I don't know, man. Maybe this is one of them. So Commanders versus Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. I'm going Commanders. I think the legend of Jaden Daniels is going to continue to grow. I think him to Scary Terry is going to be what makes it. I do think this will probably be the most competitive game of all the playoff games, though, because Baker Mayfield is playing great, and Mike Evans is still that dude. So very narrowly, I'm going to take the Commanders over the Buccaneers. Swarm, you're up first. You got Commanders or Bucks?
Yeah, give me the Commanders, man. Jonathan Allen is back. I saw what they did against us and the run. And that's, to me, even with Baker throwing to Mike Evans, I think that directly feeds off of Bucky Irvin and that run game, which has been tremendous this year for Tampa Bay. I think that Washington's front seven will minimize. I don't think they'll stop him, but they will minimize Bucky Irvin. They'll keep him under 100. And I look for Washington. Actually, I'm predicting this one to be at least a 10-point victory for Washington, a mini blowout. Jaden Daniels is going to present problems for them in his run game, man. So give me the Commanders, man.
All right. Commanders.
Okay, I'm going next. It's Swan Corso here. Not so fast, Red Swan. Look, man. I'm going with Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for me, man, I trust in guys who already have playoff experience. This would be Jaden. Look, the playoffs are different than the regular season, man. You know what I'm saying? I think the game could become too much for Jason Daniels because of the atmosphere. He's not knowing what to expect. But a lot of the guys from Tampa Bay have been there before, and I think that's what'll get them over the edge. And I got Tampa Bay winning by. I got them winning by 10 points.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. 10 points.
Because I think Evans gonna go off. He gonna be like, throw anything in my direction, I'm catching it.
To be the X factor, man. That's why I think it's competitive. Like Evans, just like Travis Kelce on the Chiefs. Like now he's used to this playoff shit. He went from never going to being a staple of it. To me, big time players just step up in moments like this. So,
hey, Cody, to that, and I just want to drop this nugget real quick. It's interesting that y'all mentioned that. A thing I often hear y'all say is what C.J. Horn does when Mike Evans has to play against him. But notoriously, Marshawn Lattimore is considered the Mike Evans shutdown king.
Yeah.
Who is C.J. Horn?
And he's J.C. Horn. My bad. I always get it backwards. J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn.
Yeah, everybody's saying that's
See, Twan, look at you. I guess I offended you when I said that, but I didn't say shit when you called Jaden Daniels Jason Daniels for 3 times straight.
I got his last name right. Shit.
Yeah, you did.
But no, look, you make a lot of good points, man. Like to me, that Commanders Bucks game, to me, that's the most competitive one. Diesel Skittles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, welcoming the Commanders. What say you, brother?
Agree 100%. This is a must-watch game, especially if you're a fan of the Panthers or a fan of the NFC South. When we faced the Bucks, when we faced the Bucks on the road, the Panthers did. We got smacked in the mouth, hurt my fandom a little bit, got humbled a little bit, put in my place on where our Carolina Panthers team is, realizing that the Bucks would probably win the division for the 4th year in a row. The Bucks are looking strong. I don't know if Cade Otton is healthy or not. I think it does play a factor in the game. Jaden Daniels was electric last year at LSU. I've been a fan of Jaden Daniels all year long and everything he's done to revive that franchise of the Commanders. I'm going to go with them on the road. I've always felt like all year long that nobody in the NFC South, no matter what we did, whoever won the division was going to be one and done. We'll see how we stack up. Maybe we can earn a little clout, but in my opinion, I think the Commanders win this over the Bucks.
All right, we got a sweep. Everybody's picking the Commanders. No, Twan, you picked Tampa.
Twan, yeah.
Yeah, Twan picked Tampa.
He's Lone Wolf.
Yeah, Lone Wolf. I'm going to start this next one.
Didn't Diesel Skills just pick the Buccaneers?
No, he's on the Commanders.
Yeah, I think the
Commanders. Okay, I got you.
But, the Bucks did go into Philly and beat them last year first round. So just to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I'm going to go first one on this one. I'm going to call the upset.
Cody, let me bring one more point out, though. The other thing, if it would change him, though, the other thing with Mike Evans is this. Mike Evans don't know if he'll ever get back here. So I expect him to show out.
No, that's a great point. But you know what? I'm going to piggyback off of that, Twan, because I can say the same thing about Matthew Stafford. I feel like the Rams against the Vikings, I'm taking the Rams. I think this is one of those teams that it's like the sneaky team that you don't want to play because they've low-key kind of gotten hot a little bit late into the season, I think. They've been hot and cold, though. But it's like we're talking about with Tampa. They've got a lot of veteran players. You have Cooper Kupp. You've got Puka Nacua.
Damn, Cody.
They have 2 very talented young defensive players. I know who Twan knows who I'm talking about with Jared Verse and
Florida State boys. Yep.
Hey, defensive rookie of the year, baby.
He already got it.
What's the white boy that plays for the
Fisk?
Yeah.
Braden.
Braden Fisk and Jared Verse.
He's balling too.
They're like the Bash brothers over there for the Rams defense. So I'm calling the upset.
Okay, Cody.
I got the Rams winning by a touchdown.
Not so fast, Cody. I love my guys from Florida State, man. This is very, very hard for me to pick right here, man. but I'm gonna do it in my best diesel skills interpretation, bro. We had the guy Sandy Darnold over here, but we didn't know what to do with him. The man had mono with the Jets. He was seeing ghosts in Carolina. I think Sammy Darnold is saying, now I'm over here with a good team. I did my thing this year. I'm trying to get the bag. You guys have doubted me. Even with the wins I've gotten this year, I'm going to shut all this shit up in the playoffs, man. And I'm taking the Rams down. I got the Vikings and Sammy D.
All right. I'm going Minnesota Vikings against the LA Rams. Red Swan.
I love that color commentation, Twan.
Exactly.
Applause, brother.
Appreciate it,
man.
bro.
Hey, damn, Cody, I was thinking real heavily Minnesota, but Cody, I think you might have sold me on the Rams playing at home, man.
And they're at home too.
Yeah,
Now,
they got a lot of wily veterans, man.
Now, also remember, because of the fires out in LA, they might move.
Oh shit!
They might move this to Arizona.
Yeah, they're not gonna play that game.
They already have.
Yeah.
They already
did.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
They did.
Yep,
So
they already have.
still closer for Rams fans than Vikings fans. So yeah, go ahead, Swan. I like.
That's that you. I don't really have any can't compete with Twan, and you know these ills. He roll out of bed with his commentaries, man. So it is. I ain't trying to compete with y'all boys, man. I'm gonna take the Rams in this one.
All right. I like your style, bro. I like your style. These little skills. The last game, Minnesota Vikings playing the Los Angeles Rams. Who you got, bro? Is it Sam Darnold or does Matthew Stafford win the day? Also, a fun fact: Sam Darnold was compared to Matthew Stafford by Matt Rule. So there's that. Fun fact.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Go ahead.
I know it's a neutral ground, though. I know it's a neutral ground now. It's a neutral ground game now, so Sammy D ain't got to worry about that home crowd. And the other thing with the Rams too is, man, look, they either gonna perform outstanding or they gonna have their mind on what's going on back home.
Yeah. What say you, man? Who do you think's taking the W?
Once again, the NFC North is the best division of football. I'm going to stick with it. And these are hard truths for Panthers fans to see what's happening this season. I've been worried all year long about how Panthers fans would handle seeing a Sam Darnold successful with a team like the Vikings. He's got those weapons. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. We've seen it for 2 years in a row. You give the quarterback the weapons. You give him a good team to play on that's got the defense to back it up, and then they are successful. And it's not just about the quarterback itself. And I tell you what, when I watched that Brian Flores defense go against Detroit just the other night, those guys hunt and they bring the pressure. I don't know that Stafford's ready for the pressure from that Brian Flores defense. I got the Vikings in a rematch against the Lions. Let's see what happens.
Let's go. That's a great point, man. The Rams, they did.
Let's go.
Yeah, they beat them earlier in the season. Now the Rams are looking for. The Vikings are looking for a little bit of revenge. It ought to be fun, man. We're gonna have some good football this weekend, gentlemen.
Yeah, baby.
I'm pumped for it. Dude, it's always like, obviously we wish the Panthers were in the bitch, but like it's always like a weight off your shoulders when you don't have to worry about your own squad. You can just kick your feet up, watch playoff football, not really be too invested in who wins and who loses. It's kind of cool. I'm into
That's
it.
a fact, Cody. That stress is off, man. You know what I'm saying? So
Man,
yeah, I feel the same way, brother. Yep.
Yeah, all you gotta do, kick your feet up, crack open a cold one, hang with the boys, watch the game, and enjoy the rest of the 2024 season, man. That's what I'm looking for.
Snowing football, baby. Snowing football.
Snowing football.
Yes,
to
sir.
love it. Got to love it. Got to love it. Well, boys, we are winding down. This is the end of the show today. As always,
Appreciate y'all, brother.
I gotta thank my bros for coming and doing the show with me. As always, thank you to everybody who came through today, man. Everyone who's not here at the end, Kyle, Pickle, Edge, everybody, man. We appreciate y'all. And damn, even Swarm jumped off. I was about to give him an outro. Y'all make sure you check out Twan Don at the 704 Charlotte Bound Show. Twan, I appreciate you once again, my brother.
Anytime, man.
Absolutely, man. And you know, the last word goes to the brand ambassador, Diesel Skills. My man, you know I appreciate you. Take us out, bro.
You guys should be excited for football, NFL football this weekend. We've got wildcard weekend going on. And to be honest, it's always my favorite weekend of NFL football. It's going to be exciting. Don't forget that Ravens and Steelers game is on Amazon Prime. So make sure you tune in to it. With that being said, don't forget to tune in on C3 Legion Spaces. That's on the X app on Mondays. We want all the C3 community to show out and have fun and have a turn to speak. And same thing here every Friday at 7 p.m. Tune in to the Friday Free for All. As you can see, there's plenty of room. You can be a part of the show and give your Panthers opinion. No opinion is wrong because the fans don't pick on this team. But here at C3, that's where the fans matter. And to take us out, since we're doing impressions tonight, I've got an impression myself. Hey, hey, hey. You know who the fuck it is. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka! That's right. It's G, baby. Texas is going to win tonight over Ohio State. They're going to win the national championship. And then the Panthers and the King and the truth, Bryce Young, is going to lead us to the division championship next year. Make sure you tune in to C3 at 7 p.m. for the Friday Free-for-All. Take us out, Cody.
Keep pounding, baby.